Alright, good morning everyone. Welcome back to the show. I'm your charming self-proclaimed yet still humble host, Mukluk, and today we are briefly visiting the wonderful world of Guild Wars 2, which is Tyria, by the way. Did you know that? Hello there. We are usually jumping into our other morning game of the week right now. However, put that on pause because they have already released the blog post that we
I hope you are doing good.
I am.
Here is a joke for you.
Okay.
What did Michael Jackson said to a kid sitting on his lap? You got a great singer inside you.
This is a PG stream, sir and or ma'am. Thank you for the sub. Next time, just DM me those jokes so I can laugh at them without having to stay stony-faced. Anyway, where were we? Blog post. Guild Wars 2 released a new blog post. We were expecting this to come out at noon Eastern or noon Pacific time, both of which are hours away from now. And they released it super early. Also, the video is unlisted. I don't know why, but it's pinned in the blog post, so this isn't a leak. It's out. Okay. Anyway, let's jump in. Honestly, I don't need this open for this. I don't know why, but 4 times in the last month, my computer has just rebooted, and it said something about, like, a core failure, and it's only when Guild Wars 2 is open. I am streaming 55 hours a week. I am playing dozens of different games, but only Guild Wars 2. My computer just occasionally reboots. So, just to err on the side of the caution, we're just going to close this out right now, because we don't need that open right now. So, give me a second here, and let me get this over here. At Muck, I hated Ranger specialization. Well, we will see how this is going. Hang on a sec. Let me get this over here. I am going to mute alerts so that freaking doesn't happen again. Okay. I might have to do the alert queue thing that some of the other streamers do. I don't want that to happen again. Muted too late. Yep, it is muted, X4. Thank you, though. All right. Let's get this set up here. I think this one is going to flashbang us. Yeah, let's turn on the dark mode for that tab. Okay. All right, let's go. Going into YouTube mode. All right, hello Guild Wars 2 gamers. Today is Wednesday, July 23rd. We've got some Guild Wars 2 news, and we have got the Elite Specialization Sneak Peek blog post that they promised us for today. It's not the classes I thought it was going to be, because the first 3 classes that they announced to us was the Troubadour, the Evoker, and the Antiquary, which was the Mesmer, the Elementalist, and the Thief. And so I think most of us assumed that those would be the first 3 that they were going to unveil. However, nope. After much speculation, the time for illumination is now. Check our news update for more about the Mesmer, Ranger, and Guardian Elite specializations, and stay tuned for closer looks at more in the coming weeks. And there is a link to this blog post. And the blog post starts off with a YouTube video. So let's just go to the YouTube video. I have not watched this yet. Let's see what they got.
Their wild hunt lead them into the world where they experience tragedy and heroics, adventure and excitement. Now that they've returned to the Grove, the Troubadour is ready to share their journeys in melody and tale. Let the instruments aid in battle, blustering your
I have so much to say, but we'll just rewatch it with my comments after.
enemies, giving your allies time to attack. The lute strums 3 times on its magical strings, sending pulses of energy forth to deal damage to your enemies. As the battle's tempo ebbs and flows, let the harp heal your allies for a moment of soothing melodies. And as you build up notes, be ready to strike a crescendo upon your enemies, while giving your allies a helping hand. Tales of the Dominion of Winds are whispered on the breeze. Graceful warriors from the royal houses have emerged, eager to share their ways with the Tyrian alliance. The Galeshot manipulates magnificent gales to strengthen the power of their bow. Draw your cyclone bow, a testament to the magical abilities of these skilled Tengu. With your cyclone bow summoned, gain feathers over time. Use these feathers to bluster your enemy, firing 3 arrows rapidly at your target. Evade backwards, shooting a hail of wind and arrows, crippling your would-be assailants. Use your supersonic arrow, bursting forth with the power of the wind, dealing heavy damage. And finish off your enemy with a final blow, leaping back
The 360.
with a flourish of arrows. As your enemies fall, let the wind carry their last breath away. Rising from the ashes of the Char Civil War, the Iron and Flame Legions have combined their technological and...
I just want to say, I was wrong on this icon. On my bingo sheet, I was like, this could be Guardian. I'm going to put it down as Paragon. And I locked it in as Paragon, so I was wrong on the shield. Which means, if I shift everything around, that thing that we thought might be the closed lamp is probably Revenant. And the helmet that I had for Guardian is probably the Paragon. That's my new guess based on this information.
magical sensibilities to harness radiant flame to beckon forth an era of change. Call up the Radiant Shroud to gain access to the power bestowed upon you.
I'm sorry, are they murdering a bunch of skimmers?
Protect yourself with your shields and daze your enemies with a quick bash. Bring the hammer down upon them as you grant boons to your allies with the hammer's presence. Take a stance against the damages done to your allies as you heal and grant them protection. Become a symbol of hope by fulfilling the duties of the Luminary.
I love that animation. That's my favorite part of this video. Okay. All right. I got a lot of thoughts on this one. But why don't we pair the thoughts with each section? So let's read through here, and when we get to each section, we'll rewatch the associated part of the YouTube video. All right. Let's see. Last week, we announced our 6th expansion, Guild Wars 2 Visions of Eternity, and with that comes the news that Elite Specs are back. Over the next 3 weeks, we'll be providing details on all 9 Elite Specs through trailers, blogs, and live streams. This week, we're focusing on the Mesmer Ranger and Guardian. Tune into our Twitch channel this Friday, July 25th at noon Pacific time for a live preview of these Elite Specs. Just a note for my own audience, that is 3 p.m. Eastern. I won't be live at that time, so I will be covering this during the evening stream. So either really late Friday or Saturday morning, I'll have a YouTube video on that for the people that get their news from me. But if you want to get it live, that's the time it will be there. You'll also be able to play all of the Elite Specializations yourself during our beta event from August 20th at 9 a.m. Pacific until August 27th at 10 p.m. Pacific time. Okay. The Troubadour, inspiring storytellers. You know, I guessed that they would have 3 instruments just because 3 shatters. However, I totally took the my thoughts from Black Desert Online, and I was like, they'll probably have a stringed instrument, the flute, and bongo drums. So I was wrong on bongo drums. So they've got 2 stringed instruments and a flute. So they got a harp, ukulele, and the flute itself. All right. Since the Firstborn emerged from beneath the boughs of the Pale Tree 36 years ago, many Sylvari have taken the lesson, where life goes, so too should you to heart. Traversing Tyria, battling their inner dragons, and finding their inner peace in the time after. Okay, that was the first thing that made me go, huh?
Their wild hunt lead them into the world where they experience tragedy.
So the wild hunt is the Sylvari. The Sylvari are born, and they have a goal already in mind. They're born as like a fully formed adult. And like, you know, Traherne is like, I gotta kill that dragon. Like, you know, some of them have a really easy wild hunt, like, I'm gonna farm carrots. And some of them are like, God dang it.
And heroics, adventure, and excitement. Now that they've returned to the grove, the Troubadour...
Okay, so my first look of confusion when we got to this point was, why are they not showing a Sylvari for this? You are a loaf. They show, you know, a human, and they're completely describing a Sylvari for the first, you know, for the first chunk of this. That's a minor detail, but it is a thought I had. I recognize I'm nitpicking right now. I'm just sharing my thoughts.
Hey, look, it's the tree of birds. How
These
are you?
far-flung travelers have seen and done much in such a short time, and some, whether through whim or wild hunt, have taken to regaling Tyrians with tales of recent, famous, and infamous figures, such as the cunning Dougal Keen, the fearless... he just sits in Lion's Arch and eats snacks. Yeah, I mean, yeah, he was a big thing in the book. The fearless Almora Soulkeeper, and even the scathing Scarlet Briar. Now these Silvari troubadours have returned home from their time abroad to share their craft in good faith and to strengthen the bonds between their people and the rest of the Tyrian alliance. Troubadours spin dramatic ballads. Okay, that's kind of... Imagine you got a Char Mesmer in your group, and the Char's like, yeah, so I was a Mesmer in Lion's Arch, but then I met this other Mesmer that was a Salad, and the Salad had traveled the world, and he heard about this terrorist, and she blew up Lion's Arch, but he had a really good song about it. I think you're gonna love it. And you're like, sir, we're in combat right now, and he's like, trust me. It's gonna be good. All right. Now these Silvari troubadours have returned home from their time abroad to share their craft of good faith and strengthen the bonds between their people and the rest of the Tyrian alliance. Troubadours spin dramatic ballads and tales as their words weave magic and music to raise ally spirits and demoralize their foes. Their recitals can even be accompanied by illusory instruments for additional effects. Build up to a crescendo. Troubadours are mesmers who seek to support their allies in battle through the power of music and the fantastical tales of Tyrian heroics. Being more orally, that's orally, not like nom nom, orally focused, troubadours opt to manifest their power by generating musical notes with their abilities rather than visually deceptive clones. These notes are used to extend the duration of their instrumental enchantments, allowing them to command a lasting presence in combat. Once their orchestra is in full swing, the troubadours use their keynote skill, crescendo, to swing the tide of battle with appropriate flair. The power of songs and tales. When playing as a troubadour, your shatter skills are replaced by instruments. A lot of us were correct on that. When an instrument is played, it produces an initial magical effect. Performing with the reverberating lute will release waves of sonic energy, damaging enemies. Strumming the harmonious harp will create a healing area to provide succor to allies. After an instrument is used, it will continue playing in the background, providing bonuses to the player that can be further augmented through traits. Troubadours use their voices as well as their instruments. They can recite the tale of Queen Jenna protecting divinity's reach to grant their allies distortion. I'm sorry. Or they can... I just imagine your group in combat. Your clone is like playing this sick riff about Scarlet Briar blowing up friggin' Lion's Arch. And then you're like, did I ever tell you about the time Queen Jenna saved divinity's reach? And they were like, will you pick up your gun? Like... It's just like all mashing together and just this wall of noise, and everyone's like, oh my god, I'm never grouping with this person again. Alright, where was I? God dang it. They can invoke the story of Scarlet Briar, emulating her cruelty to debilitate her enemies. Troubadours can become a whole band on their own through the Grandmaster trait Call and Response, creating an afterimage of an instrument that repeats its effect. Alright, okay, let's go back to this thing for a sec.
Is ready to share their journeys in melody and tale. Let the instruments aid in battle, blustering your enemies, giving your allies time to attack. The lutes...
So the first thing, I believe she's dazing her. I think it's some sort of CC. This reminds me greatly of EverQuest. EverQuest had a line of magic that was called Mesmerize. If you, let's say your tank accidentally pulled too many mobs, not moms, gonna hear about that one, you had too many mobs, and you would cast Mesmerize, and all of them would basically get hit with like a flashbang. And they would all just be standing there, just, but as soon as you hit them, they would snap out of it. But that would allow you, if your group was, not AoEing, to hit them and kill them one at a time. This looks very similar to that, but then this stupid guardian instantly breaks it.
The lute strums 3 times on its magical strings, sending pulses of energy forth to deal damage to your enemies.
Alright, so they got that from Sona.
Battle's tempo ebbs and flows. Let the harp heal your allies for a moment of soothing melodies. And as you...
Alright, so I'm guessing that's supposed to be a fat heal, right? It's some sort of heal support thing. I'm reminded of Tempest Overload Water. Even if you are a full damage Tempest, Overload Water still does respectable healing all around you. I would expect this to be like that, because you don't want a healing skill that is purely based off scaling if it's something kind of big cooldown, because the downside can be that your DPS build and then the skill is crap. You want the skill to be decent even if you're not a heal build, if it's going to be like your F2 or something like that. So I'm guessing this is going to be like Overload Water.
Build up notes. Be ready to strike a crescendo upon your enemies, while giving your allies a helping hand.
So strike a crescendo on your enemies and give your allies a helping hand tells us nothing. I have no idea what that does. Maybe it's boons on allies, maybe it's heals on allies, maybe it boosts their endurance bar, maybe it does damage to the enemies, maybe it debuffs the enemies, maybe it sends them feat picks, and maybe that's damage or a buff depending on who they are. I have no idea. So crescendo, I don't know what that does. Pretty sure we all know what. Oh, I'm not reading that out loud. Might be damage. I mean, I don't know. I do not know. So let's see. Extend the duration of instrumental enchantments, allowing them to command a lasting presence in combat. Swing the tide of battle with appropriate flair. Yeah. So crescendo. We know some fancy words. We honestly don't know anything about it. What it does. Okay. So the next one. Right here. So we got a picture here. Also, I didn't really zoom in on the artwork here. So that is the new artwork for the Troubadour. Not bad, not bad. And then we got that picture here. And then we've got the Galeshot. I like the artwork. Got her hair pulled up on one of those pineapple ponytail looking things. Air whipping the, I don't know, not a dress. I don't know what to call that. Like tabard? Air whipping that all over the place. Looks nice. Okay, let's see what they have to say about this. Galeshot, Masters of Wind. For over 100 years, the Tengu of the Dominion of Winds have kept their gates shut and their arrows trained on the world. After minions of Primordus Ajormag threatened to siege the Dominion's walls in the last Dragon Rise, some Tengu have emerged to more actively engage in Tyrian affairs and, as a rare honor, offer cultural exchanges at the behest of their royal house. One such exchange is the honored tradition of the Galeshot. I'm sorry, hold on. Threatened to siege the walls. So the dragons considered attacking the wall, and they're like, we should probably help the world. Which is a good decision, IMO, but kind of funny that that was the driving force in my mind. These Tengu archers, skilled and oathbound to protect their royal houses, except the players, they won't care, are able to summon the 4 cardinal winds to form a powerful cyclone bow and deliver swift justice to their foes. As contributing members of the Tyrian Alliance, the Tengu now offer tutelage in these skills to willing outsiders who express interest in the Galeshot craft. And we got this picture right here of the Sylvari Ranger summoning a Galeshot bow. Wielders of the Cyclone Bow. Galeshots are rangers and the premier archers of Tyria. Using their aptitude for nature magic, they can sculpt and command the wind at will. This power is manifested in the Cyclone Bow, a weapon that is capable of long-range devastation. The Cyclone Bow increases its strength as it's used, culminating in a powerful coup de grace to dispatch your enemies. Learning from nature, Galeshot emulates birds in the sky by employing squalls of air. They are swift and graceful to ensure advantageous positioning in battle. Battle with keen sight and unerring aim. Galeshots are able to call upon the Cyclone Bow at will. The Cyclone Bow generates arrows over time. These arrows are a resource used to fuel its skills, such as Supersonic Arrow, a lightning-fast shot of wind that... Well, wait, hold on. Is it supersonic speed or lightning speed? Those are different speeds. A lightning-fast shot of wind that deals heavy damage to enemies it pierces. As you use arrow-consuming skills with the bow, you progress toward enabling its finale, Hawkeye. Wait, the Supersonic Arrow isn't the finale? Hawkeye locks onto your target and nearby enemies and then unleashes a hail of shredding arrows. These archers utilize squalls to control the flow of battle. They can call upon a freezing wind to chill their projectiles, launch themselves with a whirlwind, or even summon a raging tornado. Galeshots can form a closer bond with their avian allies through traits like Flock Together, enhancing bird pets, and granting quickness to allies with beast skills. Okay, so let's see this section again.
Dominion of winds are whispered on the breeze. Graceful warriors from the royal houses have emerged, eager to share their ways with the Tyrian alliance.
Eager. Tengu have been hiding from all our problems for like 12 years. I find them, the thought of them being eager to share anything with us, really suspect.
The Galeshot manipulates magnificent gales to strengthen the power of their bow. Draw your cyclone bow, a testament to the magical
Love how she's turning it sideways like a gangster.
abilities of these skilled Tengu. With your cyclone bow summoned, gain feathers over time. Use these feathers to bluster your enemy, firing 3 arrows rapidly at your target. Evade backwards, shooting a hail of wind and arrows.
So that's short bow 3.
Crippling your would-be assailants. Use your supersonic arrow, bursting forth with the power of the wind, dealing heavy damage. And finish off your enemy with a final blow.
And that's 360 no
Leaping
scope.
back with a flourish of arrows. As your enemies fall,
So she has 2 different attacks that fire like 3 shots in a row.
let the wind
it
carry
seems like.
their last breath away.
Okay, so right now I'm operating under the assumption that it's going to be like press F1 to summon Windbow in hand. And Windbow will have a few different attacks, right? I'm guessing it's going to have a basic attack while you're stockpiling these arrows that are then used for the bigger attacks. So I think it's like the Bladesworn Gunblade, where you'll have like your normal weapon or weapons, I don't know which, and then also the Galeshot bow is like F1.
Bow summoned.
So if you're running short bow, long bow, and Galeshot, you could have 3 bows.
Gain feathers over time. Use these feathers to bluster your enemy, firing 3 arrows rapidly at your target.
All right, so that's
Evade
3
backwards,
arrows.
Shooting a hail
Then
of
there's
wind and
short bow
arrows,
3, where you jump backwards and
crippling
fire
your would-be
forward.
assailants.
And she said it cripples
Use your
them.
supersonic arrow, bursting forth with the power of the wind, dealing heavy damage.
I gotta say, this is very pretty in this, but this is a lot of crap flying around. Like, imagine being in a group with like 2 of these. Like, this, I fear this is going to have the same issue that Untamed has, where people don't like grouping with them because of all the SFX.
Arrow.
Like, there's a
bursting
lot going
forth
on
with the
here.
Power of the wind.
It's like you're grouping with these people, and it's like you got 2 of them in the group, there's just birds constantly. You're just like, God dang it, I hate the summer.
Dealing heavy damage. And finish off your enemy with a final blow, leaping back with a flourish of arrows.
I like it's final blow, and then
As
it's
your
1,
enemies
2,
fall,
3, 4,
let the
5.
wind
So she's got a shot that leaps backward and fires forward. She's got a shot that does 3 arrows. She's got a shot where she jumps up and does 5 arrows.
Carry their last.
And then supersonic is a big shot.
So curvy.
Rising from the ashes of the
Okay, so I am mostly a Ranger main. In my 9,000 hours in Guild Wars 2, like 6,000 of them are on Ranger. Now, I'm going to share my opinion on this. I want to be very clear. This is not me saying they need to change anything. There's so many people that take, things I say wrong. This is just me sharing my thoughts on it. But it's kind of like, I don't like fishing in the game. But I'm happy that other players are happy they got fishing finally after so many years. I'm happy for them. This is going to be one of those cases, I fear. I already got 2 bows. I don't need a 3rd bow that does what they do. I'm kind of saddened by this, just by what I've seen so far, because it's like, I've already got a long bow, I've already got a short bow. They do all the moves we've seen in this video, and they don't cover the screen in special effects constantly. It does say that there's going to be a quickness variant. I'll have to look into that as a support enjoyer and see what it's got. But it's another bow that does something shockingly similar to what the other bows did. But do you have a loud AF bow? No. No, I don't. This is longer bow. Yeah, this is medium bow. So I'll have short bow, medium bow, long bow. It's bow. So I'm as a Ranger main, I'm kind of bummed out about this based on what I've seen so far. That might change. We might see something about their traits later on that's like, oh, dang, that's good. But right now, just operating on what I've seen so far, I feel like I got the short stick here. Very cool artwork. The animation's very pretty, although very also abundant. I don't know what I need this thing for. I can do literally a version of everything they showed in this video already. RIP Projectile Reflect. Yeah, I've said for years when people are like, oh, I hope Ranger gets a gun. I hope Ranger gets rifle or pistol. And I'm like, no, I don't, because we already have 3 weapons that fire projectiles in PvP, and people can bounce them back. A lot of builds can bounce them back. And this is probably going to be more of that. So, we'll see. We'll see. Man, that's my thoughts, and hopefully some more interesting stuff related to their traits or something is going to come out as we go forward. Okay. So, moving on to Luminary. First off, I want to point out, again, I put down, I think I said the shield was my second pick for Guardian, but I locked it in as Paragon. So I was wrong on the shield icon, which means that the helm that I put down for Luminary is probably the Paragon. And then a lot of folks thought that the one icon that was like a shield or like a jaw or something like that, they're like, oh, that's a closed lamp because he's got like a lamp behind him. And no, it seems to be it seems to me that that's going to be the Revenant. All right, so this guy, basically, Blue Lantern. And for those of you that don't read comic books and you've heard of Green Lantern, there actually is a Blue Lantern Corps as well as yellow and red and others. This guy is Blue Lantern. It also seems like he's a Hollowsmith. He is pulling light out of this lamp and using it to make constructs. We saw him with an axe, a hammer, a sword, and a shield, at least during the video. Okay, Luminary, Protectors of the Secret Flame. In the years following the Char Civil War and the scattering of Bangar's dominion, relations between the 4 legions have remained steady, bolstered by events after the end of the Dragon Cycle. With the Flame Legion formally rejoining the legions and the Iron Legion having appointed Smoder's successor, the 2 legions sought to commemorate the changing times with a joint project. Thus, the Luminary was born. In a shrewd diplomatic play, the 2 legions have since agreed to share their combined efforts with the Tyrian Alliance and its member races in the spirit of continued collaboration in this new era. Huh? Hold on. What? Flame Legion formally rejoined as a Smoder's successor. 2 legions. In the years following the Char Civil War and the scattering of Bangar's dominion, relations between the 4 legions have remained steady, bolstered by events after the end of the Dragon Cycle. With the Flame Legion formally rejoining the legions and the Iron Legion having a Smoder's successor, the 2 legions sought to commemorate the changing times of the joint project. So the Iron Legion and the Flame Legion, masters of shooting fire out of their hands and masters of making tanks, have combined their efforts and made a Guardian spec.
Sublime!
Okay. All right. Sure. All right. In a shrewd diplomatic play, the 2 legions have since agreed to share their combined efforts with the Tyrian Alliance and its member races in the spirit of continued collaboration in this new era. Luminaries bear an enchanted iron brazier, I almost said brazier, that's a different word, that sustains a powerful sacred flame. The bearer can wreath themselves with this fire and wield a blazing arsenal of weapons against their foes with striking powerful stances mid-fray. So, everyone who thought that this was Guardian, which I think was most of us, but there was a few people that thought this was Revenant, it is Guardian. Harness the Radiant Shroud. Luminaries are Guardians, stalwart combatants on the battlefield, capable of putting out respectable damage or supporting their allies. Their brazier provides energy for the Radiant Shroud, in which they are able to wield various weapons of light and flame to adapt to the situation at hand. Luminaries also have access to stance utility skills, gaining additional tools for offense, defense, crowd control, and mobility. Okay, so probably F1 to go into Guardian Shroud. Radiant Shroud is a new take on the Shroud mechanic. The Shroud has no limiting resource, of course not, because it's Guardian getting it, allowing players to always enter when the Shroud is not on cooldown. While in Radiant Shroud, your weapon skills are replaced with 5 new skills. A basic attack in the first slot and 4 radiant weapon skills in the 2nd through 5th slots. Illuminating weaponry. Hold on, let's go back to this, but yes. Okay, so if a necromancer wants to go into Death Shroud. They have to have at least 10% of their shroud bar filled up. If they are a Reaper or a Core Necro, it will replace their hit point bar, so it protects their hit points and also changes their 1 through 5. If they are a Harbinger, and they go into the Shroud, it also blights them and lowers their max health. If you want to count, Druid as a Shroud, when they go into Lunar form, it has to be off cooldown, and the Astral Power bar has to be at 100%. It can't be at 99. And then you've also got Thief, who has the Spectre Shroud. But all of them have resources that they have to juggle. Illuminating Weaponry. Using a Radiant Weapon skill will equip that weapon while performing an initial attack, and then flip over into the weapon's additional skill. The Luminary's Grandmaster Minor trait, Radiant Armaments, grants a unique passive bonus based on the equipped weapon, which lingers for a bit after exiting Shroud. Luminaries looking to maximize their outgoing damage may want to use the Hammer right before exiting to take advantage of the bonus damage passive, while those who need to support their allies might prefer to end on Staff to gain access to its increased outgoing healing. Okay, so there's a Hammer, an Axe, a Staff, a Sword and Shield. Players are free to use all 4 weapons while in Shroud, but there is a trade-off. The recharge time of Radiant Shroud will increase for each weapon used beyond the first. Okay, what's next? Each weapon used beyond the first, very similar to Function Gyro. If it revives 1 person, it has a normal cooldown, but if you use it to revive 2 or even 3, it will increase and increase and increase. What's next? We hope you've enjoyed our first of the 3 Elite Spec previews. Okay, so that leaves the Guardian section. So let's go back and rewatch the Guardian stuff.
Our Civil War, the Iron and Flame Legions have combined their technological and magical sensibilities to harness radiant flame to beckon forth an era of change. Call up the Radiant Shroud to gain access to the power bestowed upon you. Protect yourself with your shield.
Okay, so first off, did he do a charge there?
To the power bestowed upon you. Protect.
It looks like maybe you charge forward when you get out the Sword and Shield. Unless that was a utility skill.
Yourself with your shield and daze you.
So you've got to block with the shield.
Your enemies with a quick bash. Bring the hammer down upon.
Alright, so each weapon skill does one thing, and then it flips over and does another thing. So Sword Shield looked like it had a dash engage possibly, a block, and a shield bash maybe at the end of the block?
On them, as you grant boons to your allies.
Hold on, how long was he in the air there? That was like a week.
Bring the hammer down upon them, as you grant boons to your allies.
Wow, dude, he held that thing in the air like it was Scion from League of Legends. Okay, so big slam down with the hammer, and then he spins. So, it's Reaper Shroud now.
With the hammer's presence.
It's in slow mode. Dude, look at the other people, though. Hang on.
Bring the
like, he raises up, and look at this guy.
Hammer down upon them.
He finishes his attack, and then this guy goes down. So, yeah, there is a hanging
with
animation.
The hammer's presence. Take a stance against the damages done to your allies, as you heal and grant them.
Oh, that's staff? I thought that was a two-handed battle axe. That's why I kept saying axe earlier. Is that staff?
Is done to your allies, as you heal and grant them protection. Become a symbol of hope by fulfilling the duties of the Luminary.
Okay, that's the staff. All right, so there's staff, there's sword shield, there's hammer, and they said there's 4 weapons. I'm not sure what the other one is. Okay. All right. So this one, the staff thing, big circle. They mentioned it gives protection. Maybe it does healing as well. This might be another, like overload water type of deal. And they said that you get passive bonuses. Can't wait for bow builds. Oh my god, don't talk to me. They said there's going to be passive bonuses based on the weapons that you use. So they mentioned you might want to use hammer right before leaving Shroud just to stack up passive things there. So I would expect this might result in builds like if you're a support Luminary, you might only care about the staff from the Luminary Shroud. Like go into Shroud, use the staff skill, leave Shroud type of thing. And if you're a power luminary, you might only care about enter shroud, use hammer, leave shroud. But then anyone could use the shield in an emergency to get another block, you know, yada, yada, yada. Now, one question is, if it's a shroud bar, does it protect your hit points? For some classes it does, and for some it does not. So, like, if the Guardian takes a hint while in shroud, will it just damage the shroud bar, or will it hit their HP? That's one thing I'm curious about. Also, can you have a fully support luminary that focuses on the staff, and could you have a fully DPS luminary that focuses on the hammer, for example? I would kind of expect it to, but they specifically mentioned quickness from the Galeshot, but they did not mention a lack or quickness from the luminary or the Troubadour. That's not to say it's not there, but they didn't mention it in this blog post. Let's see. There's a line in Shroud about having no limiting resources, so it's probably not a second health bar. Yeah, I would kind of hope not, if they could just dip into it that often, but I'm not sure. It sounds pretty cool. So it seems like, I would guess, you press like F1 to go into Luminary Shroud, or Radiant Shroud. And then within that Shroud, you know, one button is Sword Shield, one button is Staff, one is Hammer, and then there's something else, because they mentioned there being 4 weapons, and I don't think they showed 4, unless I missed it. But I don't know what the 5th slot is, unless there's a slot that's just an auto attack. Like, it's possible when you go into Shroud, you automatically have the sword and shield in your hand. Like, entering Shroud, like the F1 is that leap forward, and then maybe there's just like a sword shield auto, but then like you press it and then there's block followed by the bash. Not sure on that. Not sure on that. But it's interesting, and I like interesting. So just based on my own likes and dislikes, the Luminary seems pretty rad. The Troubadour seems kind of cool. The Galeshot seems like a rerun. Again, based on my own likes and dislikes. Not everyone will agree with me, and that's okay. So I'm really interested to see what the Troubadour and the Luminary can do, especially based on like support builds and stuff like that. Because, you know, that's my thing. I love pet builds, I love support builds, and I love anything that's one of those or both of those. Yeah. I think that's it. I think that's all I've got to say. So, as always, I'll have the links to all this information in the description down below if you want to reread any of this yourself. If you've got any questions, problem, thoughts, concerns, or feedback, or you noticed something in the video that I missed, maybe there was like a frame where Blish was in the background or something, let me know, because I want to hear about it. And I will talk to you guys after the big thing, the big reveal of the gameplay showcase on Friday. And cut. Okay. All right. Let's see. Singer says, made you a little clip. I'll post it when you're done with your YouTubing. I am done with my YouTubing. All right. Hold on. Let's unblock the queue. There we go. Guard Mom says it's my turn to get Shroud.
Muted. Yeah. Too late.
Yep, it was too late. How do you like the idea of mass distortion for Mesmer? Sounds fantastic. Balanced. I hear cap on reruns. This is definitely unique for Ranger, though. A kit, though, and that's so. Well, here's the thing, Tom. Like, again, this is all my opinion, right? I'm not gonna like fight or anything about this. Okay.
For Chip.
All right. So Galeshot, right? You equip the bow, and it has an attack where you fire forward, and it shoots 3 times. Oh my God! Stop showing different camera angles and fire the bow. Hang on a second. Okay, pew, pew, pew. 3 shots, all right? Current longbow has rapid fire, which fires 8 shots. Okay? So we already have that skill. There's a jump backward and fire forward. Ranger's shortbow 3 jumps you backward and fires forward. Okay? Then there's pull a whole bunch of energy together and fire 1 big shot. Unleashed ambush with a longbow is pull a whole bunch of snot energy together and fire a big shot. Then there's jump in the air and fire rapid fire again. This time she shoots 5 arrows. So I've got 3 rapid fires now. And that's it. That's all they showed. Like, you say it's cap, but we literally have all of those skills already. They're on different weapons, but we do have all of those already. That's not anything new. So There could be something there I'm missing. Maybe for every arrow that lands, you remove alacrity from the target's grandmother. I don't know. There could be some absolutely bonkers mechanic there that we've never seen before, and once I see it, I'm going to be like, oh, that's pretty good. I hate that guy's grandmother. You know, I might get excited at that point. Right now, we literally have all of those skills already. We literally have every single one of those. So what kind of weird archer jumps in the air to fire? You don't watch enough anime. All right, they all do that for their big shots. Okay. All right. There we go. So yeah, that's why. Like, I'm a little interested. It said like they buff avian allies. Like, I'm curious, like what kind of buff is the bird pet's gonna get? It said that like they're gonna give quickness with B skills. Most B skills have a 20-second or longer cooldown. Does that mean it's gonna be like Renegade, where it'll be this super easy to keep up quickness? You know, you just tap F2 every 20 seconds. But that means your F2 is always on cooldown in that case. Let's see. Why would you need a range for group PvE? Okay, so that is more of a fault of Guild Wars as a whole than it is the Ranger class. Because of the boon system and the heal system, it is true that anytime you're in group PvE, everyone is just standing on a single spot. And that's just because of the main game's systems. Let's see. Untamed Dual Bow is useless against Reflect, but you reset cooldowns, give Quick to group, and have the Untamed Pet skills for utility. Don't need to equip a bird, too, for the Quick. The blog gives a bit more insight about what we can expect with Galeshot. I know, we just finished reading the blog. Yeah. We just finished reading all that. Okay. So, I need to cut this out for the YouTube peeps now. Let's see. Maybe the birds are treated as an ammo skill. You're just firing your birds at people? All right, hang on. You're going to hear me for a sec. All right, hello, Guild Wars. Oh, too much. Hang on. Boop. Let's go. I'm going into YouTube mode. All right, hello. All right, that's done. All right, where's the ending spot? Showcase on Friday. There it is. Okay. Let's see. Guild Wars 2 News 7/23/25. Publish file. Okay. And that's happening right now. All right. Birds and feathers are ammo. Yeah, you just throw your hawk, throw your raven, throw your eagle. You're like, I'm out of birds. Everyone's like, what are you doing with the birds? I'm pretty sure firing your bird at people is not something you could talk about on stream about Muck. Oh, is that what the kids call it these days? Maybe at least the new pets will be exciting. Finally, a stability pet, Copium. Honestly, that would get me more excited than anything about Galeshot so far. If there was a pet that had an F2 that gave like 1 stack of stability with a 30-second cooldown, Untamed Healer would be playable in the serious content. So if they did that, that would be amazing. Because right now, the only thing Untamed Healer doesn't have is the ability to give its group stability in any way, shape, or form. Let's see. Again, Untamed Dual Bow is useless against Reflex. We reset cooldowns, give Quick to group, have Untamed Pets for utility. When I see the Super Bow for Galeshot, I got a flash of PTSD from Bladesworn kit. Be ready to lose your weapon, swap Rangers. Maybe. We might. Because like, if you're a Bladesworn, those who don't main Warrior, you only get 1 weapon set, and then your F1 or whatever gets the Gunblade out. So you have Gunblade plus 1 weapon set, not Gunblade plus 2 weapon sets. I think we're getting a crab. Some of the pictures have a crab close to the Ranger with the Gale Bow. You get stabbed, but on a 10-second cast. Oh, boy. Let's see. Flock of seagulls like the band. Pigeons finally used for them besides sending messages. Besides sending messages? I mean, sending messages is good. That's useful. Eleven listening to like first time. Yeah. I mean, back in End of Dragons, I was really unimpressed by how Untamed looked, and I was like, Mechanist looks cool, and I mained Engineer for like over a year during the EOD era, and then I went back to my Ranger after that. So this might be an expansion where I put my Ranger down again. Like, I loved Ritualist in Guild Wars 1. I'm really eager to see what Ritualist looks like in this one. So I might be maining my Necro. I don't know. I might dust off Spooky Mutt. We'll see how it goes. Okay, download file. Alright, doing content creator stuff here. Troubadour has me bouncing off the walls with excitement. Troubadour has me more curious than anything. Bards are an exceptional party member in every game I've played that has bards. However, In every game I've played that has bards, the bard buff system is basically what Guild Wars 2's entire boon system is. So, since that's already done, I don't really know like what they're gonna do. Crescendo was really cryptic. It didn't really say what Crescendo is gonna do. We had like the group distortion, I guess, which is kind of like having group rebound. The harp thing kind of looked like overload water. And then you had like some attacks that can hit enemies. So, yeah, we'll see. Unique buffs? I really doubt it, because Ranger Spirits were unique buffs, and Warrior Banners were unique buffs, and they removed them recently. Like, that was just like a month ago, right? Like, they actively were like, no, this is too much, and they got rid of them. So, they just did that. I don't think they're going to add them back so soon. Where are you from, Muck? I'm what a lot of folks around here call a Navy brat. My dad was in the military when I was born, so we ended up moving all over the place. But for most of the recent years, I have lived in Georgia, in the United States. They also said they're going to redo the buff system. They're going to redo... Wait, what? When did they say that, Jeff? I remember them saying they're going to redo the strike and raid system. I don't remember them saying they're going to redo the buff system. Let's see. Luminary having the staff and shroud would mean even DPS Luminary would have a decent heal. Plus, if I saw right, it might have given Aegis. Maybe. Again, it's kind of like a DPS Tempest can pull out overload water in an emergency. And it's a sizable heal, even with no healing power, because just the base healing is quite high. Do you Nicole Page... Wait, what? That's not a sentence, Sly Lucy. Watch it become the highest DPS and required for serious content. For Galeshots? I mean, maybe. I really hope they redo buffs. I find it confusing from other games. I do not remember them ever mentioning... If you saw them say they're going to redo the boon system, I would love a source on that. I don't recall that. So I don't want to spread that info around unless I see the source of that. Let's see, coming back to Wars 2 after a 5+ year break, I have a leveled and geared Guardian and Warrior. Anyone have a recommendation on playing one of those or trying a different class? What's up, Pilsner? The short answer is there's really no wrong choice. It's just how do you want to play? So definitely recommend, just trying, like what style of gameplay do you want is the main question. Like, do you want to shoot arrows at people? Do you want to support people with fire? There's really not a wrong answer here. Okay, uploading the news video to YouTube now. I just have to wait a minute for that. Let's see. Do you have any recommendation on a lack DPS? Any of the 9 classes except Ranger can do a lack DPS very well. Ranger, it's kind of awkward, so I don't recommend doing Ranger or lack DPS. Because that would be Druid, which Druid DPS and providing alacrity is really weird. Where is... Hold on. Oh, right here. Copy that. And reuse. Alright, put this over here. Let's see, do all that. And related links. Alright. July 21st. Okay. I gotta think of a name for that. Okay. And let's see, what is this? Flashbang! Let's see, Mesmer Ranger Guardian. That's fine. Mesmer Ranger Guardian new elite info. Meh. Okay. And then we gotta make a thumbnail. So Druid Light DPS doesn't even really work. I hope Galeshot's gonna be a lack. They specifically said that Galeshot F2 with the B skills. They didn't say that part required bird. Someone said it required bird. They said it was going to work well with birds, but they also said that when you use the B skills, which is your pet's F2, that it would do quickness. Now, I don't know if that's quickness on you or quickness on the group. For example, a Reaper can keep up 100% quickness on itself, but they're not providing group quickness, So I'm not sure which one it is. Okay, we need some artwork here. Let me do something here. Thumbnail. Let me see. What is the thumbnail for this image? That's pretty good. Okay. I'll make some art. Oh no, that's secret. You guys aren't allowed to see that. I have a video coming out about the Guild Wars Commandos. And, like, their whole life story, basically. It was pretty fun. You guys know about the Guild Wars Commandos? They started off as an April Fool's joke in 2011, and now they're canon ever since Kralkatorrik messed with the mist and made the timelines like bleed together. Okay, let's see, what do we want for the big text? Oh, let's get the little dude out here too. That's super old April Fool's? Yeah, but it was 2011. It was an April Fool's in Guild Wars 1, and it was based off the Terminator movie. 2011, they also released the Commando as a new class coming to Guild Wars 2, which ended up being Engineer. That was another joke. In 2012, they did another event in Guild Wars 1 that was based off Terminator 2 with the liquid metal guy. And the Commandos came back again. Then the Commandos showed up after Kralkatorrik messed with the timelines, and they've been seen in Jahai Bluffs and Skywatch Archipelago and the Wizard's Tower since then. So a few of them got thrown 250 years in the future, and they just showed up in Guild Wars 2. It was a pretty neat reading about all of this. Let's see. Is today April Fool's? Hopefully the real post is about to drop. Yeah, Galeshot is an out-of-season April Fool's Day joke. I didn't know that the long body tonic was a bug originally, thanks to that info. Sure. Yeah, it's fun doing the storytelling for the stuff I know. Let's see. Mesmer, Guardian, and Ranger info. I don't know, that might be too many words. Elite info? What did I make the video title? I don't remember. Let's go back here. New elite info. Dang it, I did the same thing. Let's see. First 3 classes, elite details. I saw someone comment, toss a coin to your Mesmer. Elite info. Let me see. Lamps, loots, and birds. Lamps, loots, and third bows. Loots, lamps, and bow builds. There we go. Let's try this. All right, and gotta give it a backdrop. Yes, I am very serious with my news. I have a love-hate relationship with doing thumbnails for news videos because it's Guild Wars 2 news, the videos always do really, really well, right? Which means I can be a total troll with these thumbnails, and they'll still do well. And then on other projects that are like me trying something new, I could pour my heart and soul into the thumbnail, and it'll do terrible. And it's like, Let's see. We're gonna color the middle line. All right, and yellow, and red, and meh. All right, and let's see, duplicate, and flatten that. Okay, now, it'll do. Wait, should I put the excited guy instead of the thinky guy? I don't know. Should I fake excitement? You know, oh my god! Yeah, oh my god, I'm so hype about Bo. Wasn't that an anime? I think it was a guy that fought with his nose hair. I remember seeing it on Cartoon Network, and I was like, that looks stupid. Let's see. Thumbnail, Guild Wars 2, News 7/23/25. Muck's so snippy this morning. I haven't been awake very long. You're getting that early morning. See, I'm always snippy in the morning. You're just not usually here. I don't think he can read YouTube comments. I do read YouTube comments, but chat's moving really fast because there's way more of y'all than usual. I'm sorry. Have you ever gone out of your way to troll a thumbnail for news? If not, would you sometime test the results? If you mean like clickbait, I have never just made a thumbnail and then just not delivered on what it says in the thumbnail, you know? I have done clickbaity thumbnails, but it always delivered. So, like, as far as, like, trolling people, I don't know about that. I don't know if I've done a troll thumbnail before. Muck is ignoring us. Wow. Oh, my God. See, I look over at YouTube chat for a second, and then Twitch chat's like, no, what year is it? I'm lost. Okay. Let's see, where is this? And grab that. And thumbnail file. Notice like my file. I'm here. Blaming chat because there's too many of them? Yes. That would have been a thumbnail. Mesmer Guardian Bobo. Oh, God. What did he look like? Hold on. Bobo. Hold on. Bobo. Jesus Christ. Okay. Yeah, so this is the guy. This dude with the afro with these really long nose hairs coming out. That's Bobo. So I would just put him over the Ranger in the thumbnail. And exactly like 4 viewers would get the joke. Everyone else will just be like, what? Do you know Mr. Popo from Dragon Ball Z? I know that Mr. Popo. Rev possibly getting Scarlet Briar as a legend. Seems like that would be cool. Rev getting puppets and gadgets. Well, Bard is getting Scarlet Briar song. So I kind of doubt it because Bard is getting songs about Scarlet Briar. Bard's gonna be like, yo, you ever hear the tale of Scarlet Briar? And the Revenant's like, hear about her, she won't shut up. Like, I don't think that's going to happen. Never watch it, but I get the joke. I think more people know about it than that. People of a certain age, that is. Maybe. Give me permanent legendary prisoner stance. Oh, that was the Joko stance? Yeah. Let's do that. And that. Okay. All right, so 46 minutes. Okay, at this point, I gotta wait on this thing to finish processing. All right, we're gonna put this over here, put this over here. Okay, I think that's it for the Guild Wars 2 news. I think that's it. Now I just wait for that to finish processing and throw it to the YouTube wolves so that they can all nom. If Rev got Joko, I would switch mains to Rev immediately. What would the Joko stance do? I mean, would that just be, like, would you just be a Necro? Or would it be something else? It would just talk script. Just sass. So Bard then. It would praise. Yeah, it's the 1 through 5 keys are all just praise. Rev Joko Legend F1 is just a 5-minute long CC that forces everyone to kneel and praise Joko. That's just Deckard Cain's stay a while and listen. Rev get Joko and Mad King Legends. Mad King says, and Joko says praise Joko. Undying Stance, kits that would normally kill you, no longer kill you, avoid baby dragons. Summon Awakened Soldiers. Yokohama Stance would make you magnificent. Dude, imagine if they finally have like a Minion Mancer build and it's Revenant and not Necro. Oh my god. Necro's like, I can't do that. Rev's like, oh, I just channeled a better Necro. I really hope if Guild Wars 3 ever comes around that Ignatius Palawa Joko returns in some way. What if these elite specs force you to spread out, all based out of a new style of buffs that the specs do? I think it would be good for the game, but I can't imagine them doing that. I cannot imagine them doing that, like, because they would need to fundamentally change the boon system, the boon and heal system. and somehow Joko returned. If they do bring him back, I hope they use that line of dialogue, but then immediately, like, fix it after. Just to make fun of Star Wars. Refreshing on YouTube. Let's see. Alright, it's still going. Dude, it's not gonna take 44 minutes. What are you talking about? Okay. I would rather Joko be torturing Throne than me. Mad King says on enemies. I love my mini-mates for Guild Wars 1 running around with 20 minions. Yes. Muck, we already had that with Somehow the Titans returned. Kind of. But I don't know if they actually said that exact quote. An X-Pac thumbnail of Joko crawling out of Orion's mouth. Imagine all the people that haven't gotten to Living World Season 4 yet just seeing that picture and being horrified. Joko Rev should be called Legendary Snack Stance. The best part is it makes more sense for Joko to randomly return. Kind of. Dude, that sounds like a horror movie. I'm just imagining Aurene sleeping, like, off all that magic, and then, like, you see, like, an undead hand, like, reaching out of her mouth, and her eye, like, looking down horrified. Like, that would be a horror movie. What if Galeshot getting quickness means that all elites that lack a mandatory boon will have a trait for it? I don't think they're going to do that. They just did that with Vindicator, but they haven't done that with anybody else. So, yeah. Sounds cursed, but every elite being able to slot if boon DPS at least be useful. I mean, it's okay to have some classes just be pure DPS. Like, we don't have to have a Daredevil that can provide quickness and alacrity. It can just be DPS. Don't worry, in Guild Wars 3, Aurene will implode with magic before the gaming story begins. It's weird. That's something to think about. What if... Okay, so Guild Wars 2 is like, what, a couple hundred years in the future of Guild Wars 1? What if they make a Guild Wars 3, and it's 100 or so years in the future from this one? Do you think Aurene would still be alive in a cave digesting magic somewhere? Or would something have happened to her in those 100 years, and everything's terrible? Guild Wars 3 is this Teapots channel? Oh, I'm just spitballing right now. This isn't like a deep dive idea. I'm just saying, like, if there was another game in the franchise, and if it was hundreds of years in the future, do you think they would keep Aurene alive somewhere? Or do you think that they would have her be like, oh yeah, she died 100 years ago or something? It's just a thought experiment, that's all. Baby Aurene's running wild. Let's see. Somehow Aurene has finished eating magic. Somehow Aurene died of indigestion. I'm wondering if they want to do Guild Wars 3 based around the world the human gods have gone to. Oh man, that is a crazy thought. So just abandon this planet and go to a different world altogether. I mean, okay, I don't think they would do that. But if they did that, they would have the freedom to just make up new races. They would not be confined to the thing is, they would be abandoning a decade of lore that they've built up on this one. There's no way they would just toss that aside. It's a funny idea, but I can't imagine that. There's no way they would do that. But if they did do that, they could just be like, oh yeah, elves are a thing now. Oh, why not? A planet where Ritlock is a tree warlock, Rootlock. That's stupid. Make a Sylvari with that name right now. Alright, hang on. Is this thing still processing? That's 40 minutes. Okay. I don't know why that's taking so long. I'll just have to tab out and check on that from time to time. After what we've seen, are you nervous to see the rest of the specs? Am I nervous? No nervous. I'm nervous when I'm stopped at a red light and someone is coming up behind me and they don't look like they're slowing down enough. Like, that's when I'm nervous. No, there's no nervousness. Like, this is a game. You know, it's a game I love, and it's a game I spend a lot of time in, but it's a game. There's no nervousness here. So, I mean, I hope, as a Ranger main, that Galeshot is interesting in some way, and not just another bow. But if it's not, then maybe I'll play a lot of Necromancer in this expansion. I don't know. Atmuck, your opinion on ANET competing internally on Mesmer, Heal Mirage, Heal Chrono, and Heal Troubadour? What do you mean competing internally? Like they have a person for each of those people and they're fighting? Tokizo says recent expansions are all focused on other realms, Interia being a bright light to all of them. Going to another world and still have the Guild Wars 2 lore intact as possible. True, but you'd have a whole, like, a lot less of, you know, landmass and stuff. After Orwin gave us more power in EOD, I would not be surprised if ANET brings something like We've Been Changed in some way. I'm excited for Evoker in the new Guardian. Looks cool, like we all know it would. Aurene would then be the sole Elder Dragon. In her intent to better life for mortals, she has become an all-supreme ruler. In her rulership, she has inadvertently taken free will from the people, and you play the hero of the uprising of her reign. Oh no! So it's the end of dragons. Next expansion was made just so Muck will be a Guardian main, Tinfoil Hat says. Luminary doesn't look bad. I don't know that I want to main it, but it doesn't look bad. Magic Bow could also be a utility or elite skill. You should check out XCOM 2 because I know you've been playing strategy games. I do like strategy games sometimes. After seeing how Asura run Metrica Province, I refuse to believe the Asura made the Waypoint Network. Every Asura map is a heinous experiment on cleaning up Fallout. Nothing works with Asura. I think... So, okay, I don't remember the lore. When you say cleaning up Fallout, I feel like you're talking about, like, Thaumanova Reactor. And I'm going to be honest, I don't remember the lore for Thaumanova Reactor. There was... Oh, wait, wait, hold on. What, didn't Scarlet Briar blow that one up? I think Scarlet Briar broke in there and, like, blew it up. Because she had something she needed from that. Yeah, so that wasn't even Asura. That was a Salad. That was a Salad terrorist. And then the Asura are trying to clean up the place. The Fire Elemental... I don't remember the... Okay, I know the Fire Elemental location you're talking about. I don't remember the lore of what happened there. She didn't really break in. There was an Inquest consultant on it. Yeah. Did I miss the review? Yeah, it's uploading to YouTube right now. We're just talking. It was a Salad terrorist. Yeah, it was a Salad terrorist. Yeah. I mean, also, we lost all of Lion's Arch due to Salad terrorists. And they had to make a whole new city. A third time. Did Abaddon die? Was it said so in Lore of the Wiki? I don't know. I'd have to research that. I don't know that one. It's what happens with Thaumanova Reactor Fractal. Yeah, that's how I remembered it, was I remembered running the Fractal. The totality of these specs, it may make more sense. I will say this. Let's say I'm looking at playing Guardian for the first time. It remains a fact that Firebrand, the F1, F2, and F3 give you 15 new abilities, which include AoE stability, AoE healing, AoE damage, AoE cleansing, resistance, projectile block, projectile reflect. I don't know what Luminary's little weapon set is going to do to compete with that. I still can't imagine wanting to play any form of Guardian other than Firebrand with that just immense toolkit before you even spend any traits. Now, I will say Luminary looks interesting. Of the specs we saw today, I'm interested to see what the heck is Troubadour going to do that's going to be useful, and also more details on Luminary. Like, if you just play a DPS Luminary and you use the staff heal in an emergency, is it a sizable heal? You know, that could be pretty cool. Being a DPS for your group, and then you can do fat emergency heals if needed. You know, it depends on how the numbers are for the ability. Again, using the Overload Water example for Tempest, their Overload is sizable even if they're a DPS Tempest. Troubadour feels too similar to Firebrand. It needs some twists we don't know yet. Fake news, Guild Wars 3 will be... well, Troubadour sounds like it's just going to have 4 buttons. Like, it'll have, like, a flute button, a harp button, a ukulele button, and crescendo. Could be wrong on that, but that's what it sounded like from reading it. So I don't think it's going to have near the versatility or flexibility of the Firebrand tomes with their 15 keys. The weapon they didn't show for Guardian was a cape, because every Guardian has a cape. No capes! Well, you know what? Hold on. Let's theorycraft this for a second. So, Guardian is getting Sword and Shield with their lamp thing. They're getting Sword and Shield, Staff, Giant Hammer, and Blank. They said they were getting 4 energy weapons. What do you think the 4th one is? I mistakenly thought it was a 2-handed battle axe, but it was actually the staff with the big ornament on top. It was something else. So they're getting some kind of 4th weapon made out of fire that they're going to fling around. And we don't know what it is yet. It's a cape. Yeah, we already say rifle. I doubt it. If they can make a working gun out of flames, they should. They're giving engineers a run for their money. Did they not have sword and shield before? Oh, they did. They did, but this is sword and shield made out of fire. Torch, spear, death beam, giga laser, warhorn. I really don't want to hold a warhorn made out of fire up to my mouth. Flamethrower. They're all flamethrowers. We'll have a stream on Friday by ANET. Did they announce any Twitch drops for that? No, not that I know of. They did not. I do not think they did announce Twitch drops for that. Sword is the fourth. The charge was sword and radiant shroud. So maybe one is sword and another is... Maybe like sword and shield are two separate ones? Maybe like sword is one and then sword and shield is another? Harpoon gun? Flaming harpoon gun! Okay, chat. Here's the most important question. Will luminary skills work underwater? These are the big questions right now. Oh no. Will it be usable when your group gets the underwater fractal? And just like that, I'm worried. They're giving us legendary aqua breather at damn well better. That's a good thought. It's guardian, not engineer. Yeah, only engineer doesn't work in the water. I mean, to be fair, a lot of willbender skills don't work in the water. For some reason, your martial arts aren't great when you're slogged down with the water. I don't know, who knew? Faux fire is magical fire, not fire. I mean, Jade mechs are better than Asura golems, but they don't work underwater, even though Asura golems do. Who knows? Who knows? The only thing that's not going to work underwater is whatever you choose to play. What happened in EOD? Oh my god, right? So, I'm thinking of playing Ritual. After seeing Galeshot, I'm thinking of playing Ritualist. And you're saying Ritualist might not be good? You still got those depth charges? Freaking depth charges. I hope Skimmer Combat turns out to be super fun. I mean, we'll see. The sky scale combat's okay. I don't know that I'd call it super fun. If Luminary doesn't work underwater, then Evoker can't either. You sound like a sibling. If my thing doesn't work, his can't either, Mom. Do not let the Evoker work underwater. I mean, Fire Mage works underwater. What about the bow and the instruments? What about them? So I will say, if they're kits, true. Like, kits do work underwater. With some exception, like Flamethrower kit. So, like, Bladesworn Gunsaber works in the water. That caused a whole problem when they released, and they were, like, just, you know, getting in water and then firing out, like, straight up in the air with their dashes, in World v World. Video's up. Yeah, we just made a video on the video. Yeah, Grenade Kit. Druid Astral Form works underwater. Aiming is weird, but it does. So, there's a lot of those that do. Yo, what up? Navi Blood, thank you. Appreciate you. Welcome. Will Windbow work underwater? That's the question, because a lot of kits do. Troubadour trying to play the flute underwater. It's just a bunch of bubbles. You know what? If the Troubadour plays songs underwater, I want to very, very faintly, like 1% volume, hear Under the Sea. I want to hear that song from Little Mermaid with all the fish playing just really, really quietly when they're... The seagulls will make Galeshot work underwater. Elite Specs, Troubadour, Galeshot, Luminary, go to Two Visions of Eternity. Zwang, I told you. Yes, we know. We already watched it. I've already recorded a video on that video. It's going live shortly. Thank you, though. We just finished. Isn't there a Blish mod for that? Yeah, but I want it baseline. The Blish HUD extension? Yes. Yeah, Blish HUD has a thing where when you go underwater, it can play that song. I woke up late. That's fine. Luminary F skills will give every buff 50k DPS and 2 gold per cast. 2 gold per cast? If anyone is getting gold per cast, it's got to be the Antiquary. They literally dig up artifacts that belong in a museum. Maybe Bard, because people tips the Bard. Does Galeshot fire penguins underwater? That's pretty good. If you're on the surface of the water, can you fire ducks? That's that would be kind of funny. Regional birds. Penguin missiles. Meanwhile, LA gets a 1 gold per minute for Fox Food. Lara Croft Indiana Jones specialization. You realize how weird it's going to be with the salad using Luminary? The last time a salad went near faux fire in the story, they died a horrid death. Who was that? When was that? I don't doubt that it happened. I just don't know that one. If the Mesmer Elite using Focus, I hope they add something like that char mic that modifies the song. Oh yeah, there's actually a handful of Warhorns in the game that change your sound effects when you use your Warhorn 4 to 5 skills. Evoker's Firefox just extinguishes underwater and becomes a regular fox. There's a regular fox under the Firefox. You know, it wouldn't be weirder than the fact that Rangers can use cat pets underwater. Like, as much as they want. They don't die. It's very odd. Also bears. Although bears are known to, like, dive in the water to, you know, I guess, like, eat fish. But they don't usually stay under for long times. Troubadour underwater becomes Scubadour and summons dolphins for the instrument sounds to make with ultrasonic. Tigers like water. You ever seen a picture of a tiger holding its breath underwater? They make this funny face. When a tiger goes underwater, they do like this, and it like closes their nose so they don't get water in their nose. But the result is they always look like they're about to murder someone when they're underwater. Because they scrunch up the nose thing. So anytime they choose to go swimming, it looks like they're about to kill someone. Just a fun tiger fact for you guys. Is that sometimes zoos will, you know, like throw their toys or throw a snack in the water. Like this one I think is eating a piece of meat. They like throw something in the water for the tiger, and they'll have like a glass wall that people can look through. And they always look like they're about to, you know, eat one of the kids in the audience. Jaguars are crazy OP underwater. They wreck crocodiles and snakes. Oh, I'm learning new facts today. If we can have birds underwater, I want Sharknado pet, not a sand or land shark, just a freaking flying terror of teeth. Well, Rangers do have a shark pet underwater. And then we've got the land shark pet. So, different sharks. And then we play the Bow Ranger build. If you use bow, you get an extra buff. Yeah, I know. Freaking know. I know about Bow. I wish I could close my nostrils underwater by scrunching up my face. It's one of the reasons I don't like swimming. Based on the video, since there's no alacrity visual effect, I'm fairly confident Troubadour will give quickness. There's no way that ANET would give us a support spec that can't do a vital boon. Plus, Mirage has a lack. Yeah, but Chrono has quick and a lack. Yeah. Yeah, so they got Core Mesmer, and they got Chrono, which does quickness or alacrity. And then they've got Mirage, which has alacrity, and Virtuoso, which just is the most OP damage spec for a very long time. They never showed the skills killing stuff, so very low DPS. True. I don't know. After like 20 arrows, that Galeshot killed a crocodile. What if all the heal specs that we get in this expansion don't provide a lack in quickness? I don't know, possibly. There is something wrong with my green screen, like right here. Hang on a second. I'm gonna fix that. Give me a sec. I need to go to. Where's my camera? That one. And then right click and then go to filters. Okay, and then go back here and turn that off. Okay, hang on. Let's see. Da-da. Nope, that makes it worse. Other way. I think that's better. I think that's better. Okay, let's do that. All right. What game is this? This is Warhammer Rogue Trader. If you like hearing me voice acting a pompous rich man that occasionally goes, "Heresy! Execute him!" You've come to the right place. Okay. Let me check here. All right. Video. Oh, perfect timing. Video says it's uploaded. I just got to double check it and make sure it's working. All right. Hello, Guild Wars 2 gamers. Today is Wednesday. Intro's fine. Description down below if you want to reread any of this yourself. If you've got any questions, problem, thoughts, concerns, or... All right, that's all fine. Okay, excellent. All right, and we're going to make that public, and that is done. All right, cool. Let me change category here. Chat, you're welcome to keep the conversation in Guild Wars 2 questions going. However, it is time to resume our regularly scheduled program. So, changing categories right now, and jumping into the gothic music of Rogue Trader, and jumping into it. What's this game like? You know Baldur's Gate 3? That one was pretty famous recently. This is a classic RPG. Same style of game. Turn-based combat, tactical, story, but it's based in the year 40,000 of Warhammer, which, to super TLDR it, mankind numbers in the trillions. We have countless worlds, like to the point where we've lost track of them all. Humans multiply like rabbits just across the cosmos. Demons are real, aliens are real, and most anything that's not human wants to kill you. So humans are extremely racist, and by racist I mean, like, you know, against non-humans. They call anything not human Xenos, and they usually want to kill them on sight, because most of them want to kill us on sight. Welcome to Warhammer. And heretics, yeah. Yeah, so there is, like, magic in this universe, but if you draw on that magic, you're basically... I'm TLDRing, like, 30 years of lore right now, okay? You basically channel just a little bit of hellfire as a treat. But if you channel too much of it, demons go, oh, hey, let's go to that guy's house, and you summon a whole bunch of monsters through the warp, basically hell, and everyone around you ends up dead, and then you end up possessed. So a lot of people are terrified of psychers, which are essentially like wizards in this world, because if they draw too much power, bad stuff happens. Very similar to Dragon Age Origins, the Dragon Age series with the mages. If they pull on too much juice, then bad stuff happens all around them. Let's see. Gives Muck Nurgle's gifts. Alright, so... Alright, we are back in Warhammer 40k Rogue Trader. Did I already finish this system? Adamantine, Ocean World. Yeah, I did. Okay, so let's navigate here, warp travel, and see what we can find. So this is just the map for traveling between worlds. Chart new routes here. See what we find. Few opened up. Let's make that one more stable. And then visit the system we just landed in and see what we can find. Alright, so there's pirates there. That'll be a space battle minigame. Let's loot these worlds first, see what we find. 3 fuel there in space. Alright, check this. Scan. What is this? It appears that a large void ship recently dumped a huge load of junk and faulty parts from orbit. The debris that did not burn up in the atmosphere is now blocking the flow of a mighty river. This dam is causing the river to overflow, flooding the nearby valley. A herd of large hoofed rodents has gathered along the riverbanks. What? If the animals lose their usual habitat, they are doomed. The Lord Captain declares a great hunt. The animals cannot flee and are virtually defenseless, and their valuable meat and pelts will provide quite useful. Provisions and uniforms. The great hunt brings plentiful spoils and lifts the crew's spirits. The right to take shore leave and partake in the hunt is so coveted a prize that many are willing to sell their belongings, make hefty bets in card games, and even fight in improvised tournaments to win it. Nice. Oh yeah, another thing for the newbies. The ship that we're driving is kilometers in length. So there's tens of thousands of people on it. So some people are like, oh yeah, my family's worked in the engine room for 8 generations. Okay, so... I'm gonna quick save here in case I lose. Space battle is more of a minigame. The in-depth battles in this are on foot, but sometimes you end up in a battle between spaceships, which is a minigame that you're gonna see in just a second. Jen says, Muck, I've only gotten to the 2nd star system. Do you ever get extra ships in space battles? You can, yes. Based on the, like, when I load into this, you're gonna see I've got 2 ships that are fighting next to me. That are... Oh, geez, it's already starting. So that is one of my escort ships right there. And this is another one of my escort ships. So... And then this is Bodie McBoatface. I let chat help me name this one. Alright. Fire the lance. Fire the second lance. And then pull up to them on the right and fire the right guns. I always get port and starboard confused, chat. So I'm just gonna say the right guns. All right. And deploy fighters. And twist his ship around with warp power. And that destroyed it. Okay. Alright. Interceptors. Try to take out the torpedoes. Alright. Was there any other enemy ships? Nope, it was just one. And we annihilated that guy. Okay. So yeah. Jin, you get the option to get some escort ships that are AI controlled. So, like, you do not operate them, as you saw. They just drive themselves. But if they die in a battle, they will come back after the battle. If your ship dies in battle, you gotta reload the game. Alright, we found everything interesting in that system. Let's go to this one. Alright, chart new routes. Lower the danger of this one. When you go through a route that's really dangerous, it will have a chance of, like, demons appear on your ship and stuff like that. I think it'd be more fun if Ranger doesn't get the bow, but like NG kits, they could swap into different air-type weapons. Maybe, but that sounds very elementalist. But I'm not disagreeing with you. Phlogiston. So there's these things called extractiums you can put on a planet to get that resource. However, I'm out of extractiums. So can't get any more resources. So we're kind of just like mapping this stuff out right now and looking for worlds that need to be landed on. Nothing interesting there, but we did get experience. To be honest, the orcs actually really like the humans. It's just that they like humans because they like to fight things that fight back, and humans are apparently tasty. Oh. I haven't played a 40k game that had orcs. Like, I think Space Marine 1, which I haven't played, has orcs in it, but Space Marine 2 did not, and I played Space Marine 2. That one had... Space Marine 2 had Tyranids, which I think was the thing that inspired the Zerg. Alright, save again, just in case. A wave of angry whispers passes over the bridge as the arch enemy's minions train their weapons on you and prepare to attack. Agility check 100% success rate. Okay, I'm very agile. Evade their approach. Actually, no, wait, what? Oh, this is just run away. I thought this was going to be evade their shots and shoot back. No, no. Death to the heretics. Glory to the Emperor. No, we're gonna fight them. What are you talking about? Did I miss the blog post review? You did. It is on YouTube now if you want to see it. 40k orc lore is absolute bonkers. Aren't they like a fungus? Like they leave spores behind and then they just grow into more orcs? I'm pretty sure someone told me that. Alright, game odyssey. What is murder class cruiser? What the hell? Alright.
Sail upon the seas of
Fire the lance. Fire the second lance.
Detecting a vulnerability in the enemy's defenses.
Shift closer so that I can fire this.
Let the macro cannons sing their
God, it has a lot of health.
song.
Warp wave. Just to screw with it. Okay, this is a big boy. End turn. Alright, we've wrecked the shields on the front of the ship, so I'm gonna get this interceptor to the front of it. A bit of damage. Oh, I didn't see these other guys. Okay, one of my ships pulled up.
Darkness reached us.
Camera? There we go. Oh my gosh. I took a lot of damage there while the camera was fixated on that other guy.
Commence the symphony of macro cannons.
We broke their shields.
Okay, it's getting pretty low. We got this guy over here. And then pull around so we can use the right side guns.
Let The macro cannon sings.
Those torpedoes concern me a little bit. Jump forward. Oh, the torpedoes can't make sharp turns, so I'm hoping that keeps me a little safe. Reboot the shields. This could be bad. Like, my main ship's at half health, and we've still got these enemies alive.
Need to turn the tide.
Oh, there we go. Okay, so before the camera even centered back on my ship, something shot me and blew it up. Well, I guess a murder-class battlecruiser, whatever the hell that is too much for me right now. I've read 80 Warhammer 40k books. Wow. When orcs die, their blood leaves spores in the ground, and then they grow new orcs. Which is why they burn the blood flamethrowers. Yay, flamethrowers! Alright, one more try at this. Whoa, that was a much better opening hit than last time. Let's see. Deploy the boys. Hold on, which side? Trying to remember which side of my ship has the better guns. Turn that, nice. Takes more damage. Let's try that, see if we get better results. I saw a lot of numbers, no damage. Guess the shields blocked all of that.
We lost the shield. Emperor, protect us.
Dear God. Alright, so right shield's gone and hull's at half again. Good. What happens if you go in here? Whenever a vessel's inside the cloud of gas and dust, its aiming and firing capabilities are reduced, but it also conceals the vessel's position, making it more difficult for enemies to hit it. Plus 30% evasion, minus speed, minus hit chance, minus range. So I could possibly go into this cloud to try to recover? Oh, yes!
No emergency beacon detected. No survivors detected.
Thank you, Pascal. Alright. Swing run.
Destination is known.
Reboot shields. Scooch away from this guy. Although those torpedoes might get me. I'm still scared of that. Okay, this guy, bring him over here. And then we got this guy here. I'm just trying to make him a juicy target, so it's I'm hoping these guys shoot at that. We'll see. I'm gonna make another quick save. Maybe we're lucky we can finish this here. Don't kill me, don't kill me, don't kill me.
The void ship's machine spirit cries out in
God dang it! Okay, alright, alright. I'm just going to acknowledge that this is a very troublesome fight. Might have to come back to this one later. Let's find some other worlds we can visit and then come back to this at a later time. Let's go back to the map of the Expanse. Sabmaster says I'm gonna get myself banned for speaking in all caps. You just did it once, you're fine. Alright, travel here. Alright, so sometimes weird stuff happens when traveling through the warp. That night, the Lord Captain and some of his crew were awakened by beautiful music. The sound seemed to caress their very minds until they realized that the source was their own bodies. While their teeth were chattering out a staccato, their tendons were being plucked like strings by unseen hands, and invisible breaths flowed through their bones, turning them into mournful flutes. The illusion ended, but for a long time afterward, every movement made their hearts stutter in fear. Was the orchestra about to strike up once more? So yeah, Troubadour's coming out, chat. We will return later. Yeah. Okay. That's a cool looking star. Plasteel. What's this? The augurs have detected the remnants of an ancient mining ship that crashed on the planet. It looks like it was carrying equipment and settlers to a new mining site. Search the ship might prove useful, but it carries certain risk. Conduct a search. The search team was able to retrieve the last surviving extractium from under the debris. They suffered no losses and returned to the ship triumphant. Nice. Collect that. Alright. Harriock's Rim Station. We welcome your lordship to Harriock's Rim, our humble trading station. I am Steward Pontius Lockton, here to offer our highborn guests only the finest wares and special ship modules. The helmsman's snort is heard over the internal Vox channel. A trading station. Pull the other one. Everyone in the Expanse knows that this is a pirate den where they peddle stolen plunder. But to be fair, they never touch the customers, which is probably why they're still alive. What rumors have been flying around lately? Same old, rampaging pirates, nefarious smugglers, Xenos preying on lone ships. The valiant Imperial Navy alone fights them all, and we thank the God Emperor that we can enjoy its protection. There is a rumor about a lone Adeptus Mechanicus ship, an ancient hulk that is reported to appear in one system or the other, only to vanish the next day. Who knows why it broke away from the Explorator fleet, or what secrets it may hold, but this is just a tall tale unworthy of your lordship's ears. I require a more powerful engine. Take a look at this model. It will be a worthy acquisition for your flagship. The spirit of the machine is obstinate but fast. But it did fail to carry its previous owner away from disaster. Absolutely not. The previous owner was boarded at the docks. I apologize. I meant to say the merchandise is perfectly legal. Deal. Wait, I didn't even get to, like, look at the stats before I lost the profit factor? I wish to upgrade my vessel's weapons. Perhaps you might be interested in macro cannons. Solid, robust, and in very good condition. Never mind. Okay, so let's look at the ship diagnostic. So what did we just get? This is worse. Awesome. Add to cargo. Okay. Planet. Nothing? I like that you at least get a bunch of XP every time you map a planet, even if it didn't really have anything interesting on it. So you never really feel like you wasted your time. Ooh, finally, something on foot. Yes, that's my preferred party. Let's go. Inquisition Shipwreck. Ranger has a third bow now? Yeah. Greetings, Lord Captain. I live to serve. Formation. Yeah, that's fine. Alright, quick save. When you get dialogue options with a circle and an equal sign, if you hover over the two arrows, you get a pop-up and you can see what it does in the detail. Oh, that's good to know. I didn't see that. A shotgun.
Curiosity sings in my veins.
A melta-charge. Medicaid 100%. These soldiers were killed by shots in the back. It seems they were executed by their own comrade, who then used his last charge to blow his own brains out. Okay. Sentry's keycard. Keycards like this are issued to soldiers who are posted in compartments with heightened security. Disarm trap.
Just as I was taught.
There is a gaping hole in each corpse's head. They were brought out one at a time and shot from behind at point-blank range.
What lies beyond?
Athletics check. Should be fine.
Done.
Oh. Passengers will keep their mouths shut. There is no screaming. No, I hear it too. Oh, Emperor, his screams are so loud. Me too, it's so loud. Please stop this torment. Why are you torturing us? Something's not right. Wardens, combat positions. Tell the bridge we have suspicious activity here. Get back, damned mutants. This isn't right. You can't treat us like this. What are you going to do to us? We want to live. Embrace the gift of decay. Uh-oh. It's Nurgle. Okay, so they had like a bunch of psychers in a jail cell, and then they started hearing Papa Nurgle's voice. Is the video up? The news video? Double checking. Hang on a second. Yeah, it's out. It has 800 views. People can see it. A squalid berth heavily soiled with blood and vomit. It's also equipped with straps that were used to bind its inhabitants to the bed when necessary. These people were not killed by weapons fire. Perhaps there was no ammunition left for them. They were brutally butchered with knives and beaten with gun stocks. Ugh. A rotten brick of corpse starch, a passenger's rations. Judging by the lingering smell, it was dosed with sedative. An asthmatic rasping can be heard from a broken vox, a screeching, cacophonous melody that sets your nerves on edge and scatters your thoughts.
Oh, one step at a time, amidst the madness.
A minor setback.
Crude scribblings in some blasphemous script proved too impenetrable to decipher, so I failed that check. Does this game have all the Chaos Gods or just Nurgle? It's got some of all four. I'm pretty sure it's got some of all four. Like, for example, when I've pulled on too much warp with the Psychers in my party, it can have random bad things happen, and I've had Plague Bearers of Nurgle, Screamers of Tzeentch, Bloodletters of Khorne. I've had all of those show up. There's one person who is in your retinue, unless you choose to say Heretic and Shooter, that is a... what is she? An Eldari, I think? And she is terrified of Slaanesh, as is their whole race. Small fish, eyeless and slimy, dart and wriggle about in the rank water. Lore warp. Crude scribblings and some blasphemous script proved too impenetrable to decipher.
What is that?
A knife and a lasgun.
They will see. Oh, yes.
Through the cocoon's translucent film, you can see the vague outlines of a decaying body. The ribcage has been broken open, and a heart still beats inside of it. So he can be saved. He's fine. Logic. Wait, what? Pascal? Can you try this?
This explorator is blessed with
The readings indicate the ship's reactor is still running, though perhaps not for long. This explains why the ship's interior is warm. Okay, so I can blow open that with a bomb. What's over here? After being shot, these poor wretches had their skulls caved in around the temple as to make doubly sure. I just wanted to live. Why? More ghosts. Inquisition Trooper, Warden Kappa 322, reporting for patrol duty at the main confinement cell. Atmospheric sensors indicate the presence of unknown impurities. High risk of contamination. What? But, oh, Saints of the Emperor, what's happening to me? Danger, detecting extreme contamination. Oh. He's a plague bearer now. Okay. Yeah. Major Nurgle stuff. For the New Bloods, Nurgle is kind of like the god of disease and plague in this universe. However, it often feels nice when you're changing. He'll be like, oh yeah, I'm giving you my gift. And you'll get stupidly strong and get regeneration and stuff like that, but you'll look like this walking cancerous growth.
The Vizier.
I cast
Would
bomb.
he be proud? Am I?
From time to time, tiny sparks of psychic energy burst out of the cocoon.
I do what I must.
Menike, drugs, and cargo. Okay. Maddyman says, ever since I played this game, the title for this area annoys me. This seems to be a black ship, so it's not operated by the Inquisition. It's under the command of the Adeptus Astra Telepathica. I don't know anything about them. I think Alcat confused Inquisition black ships with black ships that transport psychers. The Inquisitorial black ships are basically black ops. Also, you have run into daemonettes as well. Oh, true, yeah, I did forget about the daemonettes. Yeah, when we got to our agricultural world, the leader there worshipped Slanesh and had a bunch of daemonettes.
And done.
Grant us eternal life, Nurgle, father of decay, we do not want to die. So yeah, they were full-blown worshipping him at that point.
My nerves are
No one will hurt us here, no one will hurt you either. Some more guns. There's a bomb there, try to disarm that. The interrogator surveys the dissolution and decay around you with an icy stare. Throne preserve us from the archenemy's machinations. Is this the ship that once transported you? I have insufficient knowledge of the structural features of black ships, Mukluk. However, I do recognize some of the fragments of the devices littered beneath the archenemy's spawn. Remnants of psi shields, speakers for stunning prisoners, sedative diffusers. What do you think happened to the ship? Heinrichs looks around. Anything could have happened to it. Even black ships are not immune to the vagaries of the warp. The Geller field, a prisoner riot, a minor glitch in the sacred mechanisms, any of these causes could have been fatal. Bad memories? His mouth tightens, no more than usual. We should go. Alright, once again, disarm the bomb. The helmet is for Warrior Spear and Shield. That's my guess, yeah. That's my new guess based on new information.
Tapestry of a world.
The lasguns, flamers, and shock weapons in the containers are covered in a layer of whitish maggots and partially eaten away by acid corrosion. The crates contain fragments of plate armor, rusted and covered in fungus.
My pleasure.
Stem, a knife, Voidsman's diary. Let's take a look at this. After the last shift consolidation, they transferred me to the Pariah Barracks, and everything they say about these freaks is true. I don't know if they were raised this way or if they really don't have a soul, but just being near them makes me sick to my stomach. Cold, unfeeling, empty creatures pretending to be human. They beat and execute the prisoners like it's nothing. A normal person is disgusted at the thought of smashing a person's skull. Well, either that or they like it, but not them. They don't care one bit. If it was up to me, I'd toss them in the hold with the rest of the mutants, but the psyker tricks don't work on them at all. Very handy when you're traveling on a ship stuffed full of enraged psykers. I had to move one of the psykers from the communal hold to separate quarters. That traitorous piece of crap was encouraging the others to revolt, and our esteemed ship's confessor ordered us to give him a good hiding. We beat him for 2 hours or so. By the end, my damned cough had gotten so bad it was unbearable. I'm worried I'll be called in to see the Chirurgeon. If the command find out about the crap in my lungs, they'll toss me straight out the airlock. My only hope is my new augmetic, though the guy who fitted it on Flacia Prima was strange. He gave me the creeps, and so did all of his machinery. No doubt it was all illegal under the Imperium's laws, but I didn't have a choice. A wretched bill-drop of a Voidsman would never rise high enough to have his aches and pains treated by someone from the Adeptus Mechanicus. I'm just going to have to hope that this thing clears up on its own. Alright, so this guy probably had, like, the Nurgle infection and brought it on the ship, and it did all of this.
Lies beyond.
Some grenades, lasguns. Need key. Okay, so that box needs a key. Alright, Ghosts of... Sir, we've lost contact with hold sections 238 and 239. The riot is spreading. Emperor, have mercy on us. I won't let these blasphemous mutants take control of my ship. Broadcast this over all Vox channels. In the name of Inquisitor Uton Hall, all crew members are hereby ordered to take up arms and begin a total purge of the holds. An Inquisitor. Inquisitors can kind of order anyone to do anything. With some exception. Every psyker on board must be destroyed. Cleanse every inch of this ship with fire. The Emperor protects.
Oh, another annoyance.
Whoa! They sent dudes. Hello. Wait, corrupted turret? They've got the turrets? They're behind me too? Oh my god. Well. Ain't that just prime? Okay, well, we're starting today with a bang. Alright. Let's figure this out. Where's Heinrichs? Oh, he's right there in the middle. Okay. Okay, Eagle takes the sky. She can put down some battle areas.
If I may.
Put front line there. Back line there. Rear guard there. Add, give a partial turn to Heinrichs.
For the serfs?
Heinrichs AoE put regeneration on the party.
Lord Captain.
And then we go back to Cassia. Alright.
I have read
Cass,
tomes
you have one of the best
military
AoE skills
tactics.
here. Can you handle what's behind us?
Me? Witness the fury of House Orselio.
Alright, well, partially. Alright, Cabela's turn.
I will not die in dishonor. As the truth brings me no pleasure. Trust me, come. The other side awaits.
Oh my god, we can Death Waltz on turn 2. Go crazy, girl!
Blood of the wicked be shed as thou hast willed.
Death Waltz is just a bunch of random melee attacks while she dances around.
A tribute
3 more
to the
down!
dying emperor. Come, the other side awaits. The shadows will caught by the web. I shall not fail. Death is a blessing.
Oh my god. She has more?
As the tenets demand. Come, the other side
Bro!
awaits.
How many turns do you have? Okay. And then he takes dot damage. Okay, his turn. Alright, AoE armor buff. AoE haste.
To it.
AoE heal.
Glory.
AoE resolve.
But of
AoE
course,
armor.
Lord Captain. Go on.
Move the
beast.
bird.
Your
And discharge. Alright.
A genius at work.
Let's do...
A wicked forward. Schemes within the scheme.
Okay, they take those 2 out.
A maelstrom
Overcharge.
of madness. What if?
Alright, Pascal's turn. Okay, so we've got these big turret things. Machine sphere advance, that doesn't work on that. What is the deal with the corrupted turret? Immune to prone fatigue, or does that work? Cannot move or dodge enemy attacks. Okay, this is weird. How do I hit these things?
Check familiar. Activated.
Okay, that works.
Abide in the host of blessed creations of the Omnissiah.
This thing is like really sturdy. And I can't stand over here. I can only like stand right there.
The Omnissiah knows all, comprehends all.
Commands are
Alright,
more
Jay's
pleasant to give
turn.
than to follow.
Not a lot of enemies left.
This battlefield air is good for my lungs.
Shoot the turret.
Am I getting paid
Give
for
Cabela
this?
another turn.
As honor ordains. Trust me.
Anything else she could do right now? Not sure.
You've got a problem. I've got a prize.
Okay, Cat Dog took that guy out. Let's see. Lloyd says, I just saw the Troubadour's backstory. I can imagine a Sylvari coming back from their trip abroad and asking WTF happened to Tyria. Yeah.
I am an... Isn't the...
Okay, I think we've dealt with the two behind us.
I'm not accustomed to being ordered around.
Could give someone a bunch of extra turns. I don't know how useful that would be, though.
That is foolish.
And I can't curse that either.
If only that were possible. In the name of House Orcelio, I shall prevail.
The storm.
Let's move him here. Try to have the dog hit the turret. Okay, that works.
Let's see.
I'm surprised that the that Pascal's anti-machines thing doesn't work on these.
A genius at work.
I'm
Throw
afraid
buff on him.
not.
Well, she does like no damage to it.
As honor ordains.
Most of her damage is dots, and she can't dot these. Need to move
Go
the
on,
bird.
beast. I need a foothold. Natural.
Oh, there we go. That hit pretty good.
I won't object to it.
Schemes within
Taunt the
schemes.
turret for whatever that's worth. Okay, let's see.
Setting target parameters. Protect familiar units.
Cyber Eagle does minimal damage to that. He is not in line of sight. Let's move over here. Okay, there's a tap. Shot at the tank, that's fine. He has a shield.
My. It's time for them to run, my sweet. Tell me and it is done.
Let's give
I can
Heinrich
do
some other
that.
turns. Looks
With
like
the right
Heinrich hits
incentive.
these things the hardest with his
Let's see to it.
siphon life staff. I don't know what he's siphoning from a turret, but that seems to hit this thing the hardest. Let's see.
Step aside.
Bring the navigator
is
over.
coming.
Oh, she's got something good for this.
Me, another foe painted
Lovely.
black.
Okay, cool. Got through that. Is he injured? Overexerted. Oh, no, that's something else. Okay. Okay. No loot.
One step at a time amidst the madness.
The corpse's flesh has crystallized and turned into a translucent sarcophagus, and sealed within is the slop of their putrefying organs. Mmm. Snack. The walls of the lift shaft are coated in a layer of putrefying goo containing revolting growths. The bodies of the people trapped within.
One and it's done.
Where there is death, you will find his gardens. Where there is decay, you will find his power. Alright, that's more Nurgle stuff, I think.
There will be no peace in my wake.
I see another fight up ahead.
Oh, what a glorious spectacle of your
Okay.
demise.
Pox walkers. Disease claws. Okay. Are they all pox walkers? There's a plague bearer. Bile throw. Okay. And occluding sphere. What is this big ball? Invincibility. Immune to all damage and most common effects. Death of creatures under its controls does damage to it. Okay, so don't waste time trying to hit the sphere. Got it. Alright. Okay, Cassie goes first. Let's paint a front line there.
Not a servitor.
Back line, rear. And
Isn't this a job for the
my favorite turn one,
But of
regeneration on
course,
everybody.
Lord Captain.
Me, try to die with grace, at least.
Takes 2 out. 3. Plague Bearer threw bile at Cassia. She might have gotten poisoned from that. Bunch of Poxwalkers coming up. Cabela's
Trust
turn.
me, the shadows will see it done.
She absolutely annihilates that guy. She kills another. Let's leave her there. Alright, Heinrichs. Let's move the bird
Your turn.
there.
For the throne's
Quickness
glory.
on everyone. Armor. I've already done a regen. Heal.
I won't object to it.
Resolve. Armor.
Let's see to it.
Zap. Okay.
Step by step, I lead.
Taunt these guys with our tank.
Let's see.
Dog missed.
A wicked thought. Let's see.
Dog lands a hit.
Genius.
Okay, so he's holding on to those. Looks great. How does this compare to Divinity Original Sin or Pathfinder? It's great. It's a slightly different system, but this is made by the same people that made Pathfinder Kingmaker and Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous. So if you enjoyed those games, there's a strong chance that you could enjoy this one as long as you can enjoy a sci-fi universe. I believe I had an interesting chip on this. Where is it? At the start of the Overseer's turn, enemies adjacent to the skull must pass over time to perplex. Yeah, that was it. So...
Commands are more pleasant to give
Move
than
it
to
there.
follow. Am I getting paid for this?
Ah, miss. Okay.
Don't get too cocky.
Give Pascal a turn.
Cogitation fails.
He doesn't have line of sight of anything.
Abide in the host
There.
of blessed creations of the Omnissiah.
Alright, now it's his actual turn.
As the tactical imperative dictates.
Take that out. Send the Cyber Eagle over there. Takes one more.
Tech Familiar activated. Abide in the host of blessed creations.
Okay, that one's
of the
done.
Omnissiah.
Robot Dog taking a turn. Occluding Sphere. Okay, so the sphere... Oh my god, it made a bunch more dudes. Okay. They sent dudes. I could blast through a lot of these, but I would hit my tank. Do I accept that? I think I do.
not dare ask. I'm not a now you're clad in scarlet.
Alright, kills 3 enemies, injures a bunch of enemies, injured the tank slightly. The way it looks as a combat seems similar to XCOM. Yeah, there are some similarities, like you can use cover and things like that.
As duty demands.
Zap him. Give Cabela
Isn't this a job
another
for the
action,
stars?
and she can slash this guy.
I am a navigator, not a servitor.
Death comes in silence. As the tenants demand, I shall not fail. So
Okay, Cabela blade dances 2 of them to death.
there is only death, yours or mine.
Let's see, Heinrichs.
Get me a target.
Up over here.
Naturally.
Life drain on him. Send his
Go on,
Raven
beast.
over here and then discharge.
Another stroke of genius.
Buff the doggo.
A wicked thought. I won't sully myself with that.
Okay, one more down. Fast protect on her. The dog will hit this guy. Has he already used his movement? I guess so. Alright, try to taunt that guy.
What if? Schemes within schemes. A genius at work.
Alright, bring Jay around here. Move the servo skulls over.
It's time for them to run, my sweet.
And she's got a shot. Almost killed that.
How about no?
Cannot give Kibble an extra turn right now. Use his charge just to reposition him. Alright, Pascal, use your big axe. Take him out. Send the eagle over there. Another eagle strike.
Setting target parameters protect familiar units.
Monk, in your opinion, what is the Galeshot's bow? Is it a profession mechanic like Bladesworn or weapon kill like Engineer? I think it's a profession mechanic. Like, you hit F1 to equip the bow. And then it has a 1 through 5. That's my current thought. There's another wave of stuff.
If I witness the fury of House Orcelio.
That takes 4 of them down. Doesn't she have something where she gets a stacking buff whenever she gets a kill? Chains of Domination plus 65, yeah. Yeah, she is getting more willpower as she gets more kills.
If only that were possible. Me.
Give Cabela an
If
extra
you insist,
turn.
Lord
Hit
Captain.
that guy. Alright, Cabela has an ability called Carnival of Misery. All enemies take 100% more damage from dots till the end of combat.
Let not the righteous
We're gonna use that right now.
May their blades be sharp. Trust me.
Dude, there's so much, like, untamed gas clouds in here, I can barely see some of my own people right now.
I'll put my psychic abilities to use. But of course, Lord Captain, for the throne's glory.
Stinking corpses!
Your turn.
Wait, what? Oh, I think my dog is... Oh, yeah, dog is stunned. Oh, Cassie is stunned it. When she did the big AoE, she clipped it. I was like, I can't order my dog to do anything.
A wicked thought. Let's see. A wicked thought.
Two are better than one. You've got a problem, I've got a prize. Tell me, and it is done. I bring mercy and retribution.
Can't give Cabela an extra turn yet. Heinrichs?
Behold the wrath of madness.
Almost done with this last guy. Oh, nope, there's another one back there. He just hasn't gotten here yet. Did I say last guy? I didn't mean last guy. If it's a professional mechanic, I wonder if Ranger has to sacrifice pet swap like Warrior sacrifice weapon swap. Bro called Cassie his dog. What? No. Cassie stunned my dog.
There's the navigator's moment.
Wait, did she just kill all of them? I thought I was just aiming at those. Or I guess we killed enough that this thing died. Okie dokie. Alright, check this body. Sergeant at Arms Seal serves as a key. And ship's log. Let's check this. Monkey Horse 2 question. If Evoker becomes the best pet class in the game, would you start maining Ellie? I would try it. The thing is, okay, Ellie, I hate how low their max hit points are. And their downstate skills, really not a fan. Like, you know, Ranger has downstate privilege. That is very much a fun thing. Ellie goes downstate more often than Ranger, because low max health. And then the downstate bar, it's rough. But would I try it out more? Yeah, probably. The ship's log is encrypted, but the last entry was written in Gothic. I, Inquisitor Uton Hull, captain of the black ship Monarchia's Bane, write this record for the eyes of any faithful servant of the Emperor who may chance to read it. My vessel dutifully departed Terra to collect the Imperium's rightful tithes from its loyal worlds, and then to return to the Segmentum Solar with thousands of psychers in our holds. Our mission was proceeding smoothly, but shortly after our warp jump, the incident occurred. The main confinement cell was the source of the insurrection. It was the holding site for an especially dangerous prisoner who possessed high psychic potential and who was known to incite disobedience in others. I do not know how he was able to free himself or how he summoned the forces of chaos to abet him. His psychic outbursts spread rapidly across the entire vessel, sending other passengers into a frenzy and causing them to attack my acolytes. I've given the order for the passenger holds to be purged and activated the automatic intruder elimination system, but I have no doubt that this measure will be unsuccessful. Not wishing to surrender the Monarchia's Bane into the hands of the deranged mutants, I have set course to orbit a nearby planet at a slight deviation. Sooner or later, the deviation will result in the ship drifting out of orbit and crashing to the planet's surface. Keep the faith and exterminate any mercy in your soul. Guide for Voidsman. Voidsman, by the grace of the Emperor, you have been given the honor of serving on a black ship of the Inquisition. You have been entrusted with a unique cargo, psychers collected from the Imperium's worlds as their rightly owed tithe. Do not be deceived by their appearance. Every one of them is a dangerous mutant. Be strict with the passengers, for that is how you safeguard the lives of yourself and your comrades. You must be blind to tears and deaf to pleas. Listen to the passengers' conversations and report any groupings that form among them to the ship's confessor. Any groups will be split into different holds to prevent a coordinated revolt. Check for certain that the passengers are eating all of their rations. They contain tranquilizers intended to ensure your and your comrades' safety. Pay attention to any strange occurrences. Psyker corruption comes in many forms. Passengers that exhibit extraordinary abilities must be transferred to reinforced cells for solitary confinement. Do not engage in conversation with the passengers. Do not refer to them by name. Do not give them your possessions. Do not allow them to lose their fear of you. Their fear is the key to your survival. Appear before the ship's confessor every month to have the purity of your thoughts checked. Remember that blasphemous psychers can play with the minds of real people. Keep the faith, follow the rules. Failure to observe any of these will be grounds for dismissal. Lore Warp.
And done.
Unholy Shard. This amulet reduces all toxic damage suffered by its wearer by 50%. If the wearer also has heretical votary, they also heal each time they suffer toxic damage. I don't think I have anyone heretical. But we did just find a big key. Wait, go down. Wait, what? Where's this go? I think we know where this key goes. Okay. So we're back near the entrance now.
Patience! My nerves are frayed!
Alright, athletics again. I think we already did this, didn't we? Yeah, we did. Where was that box? There was a box that said it needed a key. I'm trying to find my way back to it. I believe that's it. Hey! Inferno Pistol. Okay. Tempestus Carapace. Very low dodge, very high armor class. Oh, requires heavy armor proficiency. I can't currently use that. Alright. We also got the Inferno Pistol. Very low range, though. Alright, I think we have solved the mystery of this ship.
In this tapestry of
I
a
think this
world,
area is donezo.
I am the rogue thread.
So down here. Back out this way. Hey guys, we're back. Everything in there is awful. Alright. Let's see. Just saw the Troubadour's backstory. Let's see. Has MuklukYoutube 2 news yet? Yes, made a vid on it. Lord Captain, this is Voxmaster Vigdis Suri Otto Toloman speaking. I hope your heroic expedition was a success. What will be your further instructions? Pascal, the machine spirit of this vessel is dead and defiled. It should be sent to the Omnissiah in a proper nuclear fuel rite. So, if I send out a boarding party, I think that they're going to get corrupted. If I send out technicians, I think they're going to get corrupted. If I leave it alone, I think the corruption will stay. I think we blow it up. Bombard the vessel. Let the dead follow the dead. As you wish, Lord Captain. The power of our main battery should be enough to penetrate the glacier and evaporate the vessel completely. +5 dogmatic. Okie dokie. Alright. Alright. Let's check this system. See what we got. Chart new routes. Nothing new. Alright. Visit. It's an interesting system, all these rocks. Begin scan. Nothing. Go tap quick save. It's been a little bit since I last did that. Void ship remains. Lord Captain, the augurs cannot determine who the ship we approached belongs to, but the telemetry clearly reveals it is an Imperium vessel. The hull is badly damaged, but there is air in some of the chambers, which means they are hermetically sealed. What are your orders concerning the discovery? Send out the order to prepare my troops for boarding. I will personally take part in the exploratory expedition. Oh, this one's like a novel thing. Okay. Region, Cineris Maleficum. Location, Agathis Arcades. Material, extract from unofficial news sheet, window on the bridge, distributed on the middle decks, recorded by unknown. Note the veracity of the recounted events is questionable. We who walk down the same passageways in the same bays day after day, we who are born, live, and die to the hum of the ship's engines, machines, we forever hunger for the smallest glimpse of another life and for a chance to see the heroes who tirelessly fight for us and for the glory of the Imperium. So let's have a tale about the Lord Captain. By the will of the Emperor, the guardian and commander of every good and honest soul upon this void ship, and the time he boarded a vessel named the Fireborn. Tech use 100%. Oh, wait, hold on. Like a dead whale cast ashore by the inexorable force of the swell, the wrecked vessel was a confronting sight for its unwitting visitors. Some bays still retained an atmosphere, but there was no life anywhere. The ship was dead, its machine spirits dissipated in the darkness of space. It was just the husk left, and the rogue trader's crew were to become scavengers swarming the carcass of the fallen Leviathan. Our Lord Captain oversaw the expedition personally. He decided, tech use 100%, to train the penetrating gaze of the auger arrays on the damaged ship. The auger's keen eyes scanned the entire vessel, identifying that the void ship was gravely damaged and was in the process of final erosion. There was very little time to explore it. 3 sectors seemed to be the least damaged: bridge, middle crew deck, and service bay. After exchanging a series of trills and warbles in their mysterious and ancient language, the tech priest responsible for the augers reported to the Lord Captain that they had glimpsed signs of valuable components of an operation in the service bay. The Lord Captain's next step was... have Adira Tlass feel out a course. An unholy psyker she may be, but even souls as dark as hers submit to the Lord Captain's will. With hostile eyes upon her, Adira sank into a trance. When she resurfaced, she reported that the ship had been a victim of the warp. The bridge had suffered worst of all. It was the section that provoked the greatest anxiety and trepidation in the psyker. The service bay was the least damaged section, though Adira spoke of it with no particular interest. The Lord Captain's next step was to turn his attention to the scout units awaiting instruction. The Lord Captain had to decide which of the 3 teams he would lead and which 2 would be entrusted to their officers. Let here be known the names of those honest people who stood before our rogue trader in that moment. The taciturn and grave Yong Ho Son, whose word was as firm as his handshake. Captain Vesti, whose jokes will be remembered by everyone on decks 3 through 5. Captain Matina, the senior officer of the 3rd unit, known to many as Grey Matina, who had been leading units back when the current crop of scouts were snot-nosed kids. No one on deck was in any doubt that navigating inside the wrecked ship would be difficult. The units would be separated by kilometers of twisted metal, dead modules devoid of atmosphere, collapsed passageways, and hull breaches the size of a house. The only thing connecting the brave teams would be a delicate thread of a Vox link. And so, after weighing up the options, the Lord Captain chose to go with... Okay, so the bridge is the most dangerous. The service bay is the best loot. I feel like I should go with the group that's going to face the most danger because I can help them. And the team going to the service bay will get the most loot with hopefully less issue. That's my logic. Let's see. We're going to go with Yong Ho Son and his unit who are heading for the bridge. From here on, we will relate the events based on what we have learned from witnesses, the people who accompanied the Lord Captain on the tour of the dread ship. The shuttles started up one after another and dispersed, each heading for its selected target. An hour spent on cutting through the hole in the freezing vacuum of space, a fussy boarding, and then finally, the rogue trader stepped into the cold, dark deck of a dead ship. The light of the torches revealed a sign in the gloom: Fireborn. After a minute-long exchange with the Vox Master, who quickly checked the archives, it was established that this dead vessel was that of Captain Nova Van Dyne, registered at Kiava Gamma Port. Every minute spent on board threatened to end in disaster. The ship's days or even hours of existence were numbered. From all sides came the sounds of distant crumblings, the floor underfoot trembled every now and then. The Lord Captain hurriedly moved deeper into the compartment where he suddenly felt the slightest puff of air brush against his neck, followed by a soft sigh. Almost as if someone had leaned in close, opened their mouth to whisper a dark, tantalizing secret, and then fallen silent. The only thing that was that the Lord Captain stood entirely alone. 100% willpower. The Lord Captain summoned all of his willpower so as to not succumb to fear. Where simple mortals would already be trembling and weeping, the rogue trader only gritted his teeth. Shrieks and moans could be heard close by. Others were gripped by the illusion too. Yong Ho Son, the unit captain, barked out orders. His team held back their comrades who had fallen victim to the uncanny terror and who were struggling to break free and run deeper into the cursed ship. A few minutes passed and the unit, though scared senseless, was ready to continue. Sound suddenly blared from the Vox, which was tuned to the 2nd unit's frequency. The words were muffled, as though the person on the other end wasn't speaking directly into the Vox, but desperately pressing the transmit button while occupied with something else. Never seen anything like it. It's beautiful. Hold on. Wait, is it moving? The words are cut off by a strangled wheeze, followed by static. Yong Ho Son listened to the transmission and the final rasp with a surprisingly calm expression, then pressed the Vox button and in a similarly calm voice let loose a stream of florid swearing, which centered on casting aspirations on his interlocutor's intellectual capabilities. Turning to the rogue trader, he remarked, "Apologies, Lord Captain. Captain Vesti from the 2nd unit is well known for his pranks." "Crap, Lord Captain's with you?" comes Vesti's voice from the speakers, followed immediately by, "My sincere apologies, Your Lordship. I just wanted to spook the guys a little." The Lord Captain immediately informed Captain Vesti he would be severely disciplined upon the expedition's completion and demanded a report of his unit's activities. Captain Vesti reported that his unit's foray had so far proceeded without incident, mystical or otherwise. They had found no survivors from the ship's crew, or bodies for that matter. However, the unit had encountered a problem. The passage leading to the deck section with the arsenal and storage depot was seriously damaged, especially the power cables. Proceeding further could be dangerous. Logic 100%. After consulting his officers, the Lord Captain issued new orders for Vesti's unit. Vesti's unit headed off to carry out their orders while the Rogue Trader and his team continued on. After spending several hours wandering down the dead passageways, Young Ho Son's unit and the Rogue Trader reached the bridge of the Fireborn. The oppressive feeling had not dissipated. It was as though the bulkheads of the ship were steeped in the terror and pain of the people who had vanished without a trace from these decks. On their way here, the unit had found no signs of a struggle or bodies of the crew, and that served only to deepen their unease. After examining the bridge, the unit's scout unit discovered that the captain's principal cogitator was still functional. The final log entry was identified, a damaged pict recording that no one in the unit was eager to view. Proximity to the cogitator alone was unsettling enough, and with each passing second, remaining on the bridge was becoming more and more difficult. Willpower 100%. The Lord Captain took a risk and watched the recording. The recording contained a message from Captain Nova Van Dane. It was almost impossible to make anything out in the pict, only the captain's hand gripping the edge of the table and flashes of iridescent light. The captain was speaking crisply, almost calmly, but there was also short, almost inaudible breaths, exactly what the Rogue Trader's team had encountered when they had first boarded the ship. And it was even seen that those sounds were coming not from the recording, but from the gloom-drenched corners of the bridge itself. Kiava Gamma has fallen. The Fireborn broke orbit under fire from an unknown enemy and left the system, said Captain Van Dane on the recording, with the tone of an officer reporting to her superiors. We encountered pathological warp activity. The crew is reporting failures in the Geller Field system. This ship is doomed. Whoever finds this recording, I ask you to hold a prayer service for our souls. I also ask you to take the family relics of the Van Dane line from Kiava Gamma. The relics are stored. The captain then specified the location of her family vault and the access code. So, quick little bit of info for people new to the Warhammer franchise. When the ships travel long distances, they basically kind of dip into the warp, and then they dip out. And, like, if you travel 5 feet in the warp, and then you come out of the warp, you've traveled, like, miles. So it's kind of like the Nether in Minecraft. However, the warp is also basically hell. So the ships are shielded with something called a Geller Field, and it kinda protects the ship while you briefly dip through hell to fast travel. Now, even with the Geller Field, bad stuff happens all the time. Without the Geller Field, everyone's probably doomed, which seems to be what happened here. If the Geller Field went offline while they were traveling through the warp, really bad stuff happens. The recording ended. There was nothing left to do on the cursed deck. It was time to return to the shuttle. A message came in from the unit led by the seasoned, unflappable Grey Matina. The captain methodically reported on all the service base sections their team had already examined. They had found nothing of value, they had found no bodies, there had been no incidents, and the search was proceeding as normal. The unit was waiting for further instructions from Lord Captain. Awareness 100%. After distilling the salient points from Grey Matina's exhaustive report, Mukluk listed the areas that warranted a more thorough search. After returning to the shuttle, Mukluk received reports about Fireborn's status. The tech priest who relentlessly pierced the wreckage with the Augur's gaze insisted on curtailing the operation as soon as possible, fearing imminent destruction. There was also reports from the other two units. The second unit has succeeded in moving through the danger zone and had returned to the shuttle with a valuable payload taken from the dead ship's stores. Grey Matina's unit had explored the service bay without incident and not wasting any time, had marked valuable components for later disassembly and transfer to the Rogue Trader's ship. The units assembled at the shuttles, and the Lord Captain gave the final order of this grim expedition. Honor the memory of Captain Nova Van Dane and her crew. The last request of the fallen captain had been fulfilled. The improvised funeral began with a brief military salute, and the Rogue Trader himself recited a prayer for the souls of the Fireborn. Just as any honest servant of the Emperor who has dedicated their life to voyaging through the darkness would honor their fellows and mourn their deaths. Time was up. The scouting party returned to the ship. With one last look at the Fireborn, the Rogue Trader gave the order to fire upon the dead vessel at range, for that which was born in fire should also perish in fire. There's clearly some warp crap stuck to the ship, so burn it. Okay. Alright, so we got some stuff. Alright, that is cargo. Don't care about that. I really never use the torpedoes. I wonder what double lance would be like. Development. Oh, the ship leveled up. Reinforced shield? I think reinforced shields. Let's see. Each attack craft launched from a torpedo tube, and each torpedo gain +1 hull integrity, improved ram, twice damage for each time traveled, onboard ECM. Torpedoes and attack craft gain 60% evasion against enemy attack craft attacks, and 20% evasion against other attacks. Rugged repair. Repairing the void ship costs less scrap. Sanctified restart. Silent running. When approaching an enemy, the flagship shuts down non-essential systems and starts to drift unnoticed past enemy ships. As a result, in most encounters, larger enemy vessels, frigates and larger, are surprised and act later. That sounds really good. I'm going to take that, because we had a trouble with a fight earlier with a big bad ship. Let's see, all hands on deck. Korpusky chant. At the end of each turn, the most damaged sector of the flagship shield restores up to 50% of its strength. Duration 2 turns plus 1 round for every 20 points in the shield master's tech use skill. That's not bad. Imperium Storm. The flagship makes 7 attacks, each of which target a random enemy in an 8-cell range and do 8 to 14 warp damage. Killing these once per round. Duration plus 1 round for every 10 points of Warp Channeler's lore warp skill. That sounds really good too. Let's get Imperium Storm. And then we get another thing. Alright, the chant then. Okay. Alright. Double checking that I still have the best people for each job. And it's looking like we might make some slight changes here. Okay. Alright, alright, alright. I see the Charmon is not banned for winning the evening giveaway. Well, he didn't get the purple balls, at least. You know? So there's some things. Nothing there. What's this? The giant rings on this planet's surface can be observed even from orbit. Examine the rings. It is emerged that this planet has a native species of giant insect similar to Terran ants. Just like ants, they sometimes form so-called death spirals in which one creature follows another without realizing they're going in circles. These were the rings discovered by the ship's observers. The strange phenomenon that was originally suspected to be a sign of warp activity or a nefarious Xenos structure turned out to be a quirk of nature, and a tragic one at that. Just giant ants. Alright. Put up. Provisions. Sure, we'll leave an extractium there. Hulk. The augurs have detected wreckage in the void ship's vicinity, but the exact nature of the wreckage remains unclear. Okay. Alright. Mike, you didn't seem happy with the new Guardian spec? No. To clarify, I'm not happy with the new Ranger spec. The new Guardian spec looked okay. Looked alright. Hi. Thank you. Should I have a sandwich? Let's see. Let's see, inventory, character, journal, void ship management, colony management. That's what I need. Yeah! Completed 1,000 face relics. Okay. What can we make now? What is this? Let's see. Touched by Holiness. Indulgences for sale. Good Tidings. Frequency of Faith. The Order of the Hammer has a closely held and ambitious dream to erect a giant spire that will reach up to Foulstone's orbit. From there, a powerful Vox station will broadcast prayers and sermons to the entire planet, while the voice of an astropathic choir will carry the sacred words all across the Coronis expanse. The good tidings will be heard throughout the Vox spectrum, rallying the Imperium's subjects. I like these bonuses, so sure, you can build that. Alright, Janus has said, hey, or have some drugs. Okay, cannot build anything new here. Dargonis. Lord Captain, we've received a report from Dargonis. Some common folk from the now ruined Scipione 84249 have succumbed to the heresy of defiance. Forming into gangs known as the Engine Vandals, they now ride across the waste on wasteland-adapted cleaning Goliaths. They have declared themselves outside the law, raiding the Hive's outskirts only to escape retribution into the toxic wastelands. Bereft of the grace of shelter behind the walls and the blessed hives, they are willing to do anything to prolong their fleeting lives under the open sky. They curse your lordship's apparent cruelty. Rumor has it that the Foreman clan in charge of debris removal in the ruins of Scipione associates with these vandals. We could pass on your word to the renegades via the Foreman or force them to disclose the location of the rebels' nomadic camps. What is this Foreman clan? It is a union of workers and technomats who used to serve on the lower levels of Scipione. A small-scale shift bosses, useful common folk who have proved their worth with diligent labor and valuable knowledge. Of course, they rank much lower than the esteemed merchants, to say nothing of the aristocrats, but the common folk heed their kin, and the foremen have both the authority and the ability to manage them. Did they already post the blog post? Yes, they did, and I've already done a video on it if you're interested in my thoughts on the matter, 2Fox. Mr. Madigan says, the death spiral phenomenon is a quirk of swarm intelligence. Basically, ants, bees, and some birds do large formations management by having each individual animal look and maintain distance from several of their fellows in the swarm. Sometimes this basically glitches out, and all of them start following each other in large circles or spirals, so they all starve to death. Yes. I haven't seen that, but I immediately understood what they meant. I'm also reminded of the beginning of the movie A Bug's Life, if any of you guys have seen that. There's all the ants following each other in a line, and then like a leaf floats down and like lands in between two ants, and the one who's looking at the leaf now goes, I'm lost! And just starts screaming, and they're like, no, it's okay, it's okay. Continue. The Scipiones keep to themselves, but the foremen have not shown any signs of disloyalty. They were the first to volunteer to return to the ruins of Scipione 84249 and start clearing the rubble. They are certainly useful and well accustomed to praising the Emperor through their labor. Moreover, their grief at the loss of their home and the resilience with which they have borne it have made them heroes and martyrs in the eyes of other commoners. How do they survive in the wastelands, and why do they reject my rule? It is a rather uncomfortable way of life, your lordship. They are always on the run from acid rains and hurricanes, keeping a decent distance from the hives if they do not plan on raiding at that moment. They get their food from abandoned outposts, paying for it with the lives of those killed by autonomous security systems. Water and promethium are rationed very strictly. They live by marauding, occasional hunting and plundering, sometimes their own kin, and sometimes the outskirts of the hives. They are a tribe of degenerates and barbarians that is rapidly developing its own clan culture. The civilized residents of the hives shoot the scum any chance they get. I wish to hear what my advisors have to say. If the Engine Vandals have managed to tame the ancient machine spirits, then that means there are technomats or even tech priests among their ranks. That renders them negotiable. It would be efficient to utilize such renegades instead of disposing them, a promise of reward for every piece of technology found in the wastelands of Dargonis, and return to the dynasty will ensure their obedience and tractability. Yerliet, if you wish to exterminate them, Elantok, do not waste your time on hunting them down. Instead, deceive them into destroying each other. Tempt them with a prize, a weapon, or a trophy that they can fight over. After the Monkey are finished slicing each other up for the right to obtain it, your warriors finish the deed. This tactic often proves effective against your kind. Oh my god. Wow. The aristocrats of Dargonis despise them, but are also secretly afraid of them, correct? Renegades who can invoke such fear, I wonder. Had there been such exiles in my house, would their presence have curbed the ambitions of my brothers and sisters? Would they have supported me in case of conflict? Oh, I am scheming and conspiring right now, am I not? Bravo, Lady Cassia. Do not be ashamed of the unique abilities bestowed upon you by your heritage. They are your birthright. The web teaches us to look to the enemy's vulnerability and what drives them. If the enemy is compelled to seek sustenance by attacking your domain, prepare a trap full of poisoned gifts. Let them eat and drink to their heart's content. The poison will weaken them, and then you strike. Why just kill them if we can put them to use? Pascal, draft a message to the Omniscient Renegades. Let them serve the acquisition of knowledge. May the lost be found yet again. Item receive, Wasteland Generator. This ancient component of a Dargonis fleet frigate was discovered in the waste by the engine vandals and presented to the rogue trader. Torpedo tubes can fire 5 short burning plasma torpedoes with 19 damage warheads. Colony reward gained, mechanisms. The tooltip is bugged. Profit factor lost 1. No. The former servants and serfs of the Omnissiah that are now a part of the engine vandals were glad to actively collaborate and redeem themselves in the eyes of the Deus Mechanicus. The common folk did not dare condemn this pact, fearing the menacing priest clad in scarlet. The hive raids have become a rare occurrence. Expeditions are returning from the wastelands with relics that were once lost to the vast plains. The Foreman clan then delivers these relics straight to the dynasty's coffers. Neat. Look at the bonuses first. Oh well. Okay, so we can pick a few upgrade options here. Guilds. Blocks Project, Adeptus Arbites, Block Season of Wars. Minus profit plus complacency, efficiency, security, people. Adeptus Arbites requires more adamantine. Oh, Imperial Navy though, that's really good. Mukluk gains bloody under high, plus 5 melee damage, attacks opportunity. Might weigh on that, adamantine? What's the other stuff? According to the new doctrine, the disenfranchised will be servitorized or disposed of through hazardous work. What is disenfranchised? Is that just like homeless people? Genetic purges will be stopped. This world needs working hands. Alright, let's do rationality. Alright, Phoebos 6. Alright, we got 2 options here. Phoebos 6 needs new convicts. Various dangerous illiterates and idle thinkers could supplement the workforce. Enemy of knowledge. Phoebos needs new convicts. Purchasing foreign criminals is a potential solution to the problem. Plus 10% dodge against humans. Minus 2 security. Punishment of outsiders. Cutthroat. All of these have pros and cons. There's nothing here with only pros, so I guess I will pick this one. Foreign criminals. This gives me dodge. Okay. Oh, that's a lot of reading. Okay. Sandwich. The steady rhythm of life aboard the vessel was disrupted when, on the 4th watch of the voyage, the lower decks had their gravity reversed. The stunned denizens of the afflicted sectors were woken up by being torn from their assigned beds and tossed onto the ceiling. Numerous injuries and fatalities were reported. What a terrible way to die. Yeah, he was asleep and he fell into the ceiling. The difficulties in performing regular duties due to the gravity reversal continued until the end of the journey. After the ship exited the warp, the gravity returned to the accepted norm, an event that once again was accompanied by deaths and injuries among the crew. You would think that you'd be like, hey guys, we're leaving the warp in case gravity goes back to normal. Maybe hang on to something. Right? Alright. Sharpen your rods. What if there were religious spikes on the ceiling? Oh, great. Alright, visit. Let's see what we got. Okay. Oh, I just realized my ship has a few scratches on it. Patch that up. Patch that up. Adamantine, bottom out of extractiums. A ship that once traveled the galaxy is now suspended in the silent void like the gnawed carcass of a giant monster. When the rogue trader's void ship approaches, the Voxmaster reports an incoming message. A colony of the Imperium subjects have made their home in the bowels of the ship. They welcome the Lord Captain. Visit the colony. Oh, it's on foot. My favorite. Hmm. Didn't you get an extractium in that event earlier? Yeah, I used it on a planet with provisions. Alright, so we leveled up. Overseer. And I know I could go, like, backtrack to planets where, for example, I have a lot of plasteel. I could backtrack to a planet where I had a plasteel extractium and just get the extractium back and then move it. So it's kind of like on the mental to-do list if I need to. Weapon skill, I guess? Carouse is really high. Athletics is really high. I think he's the highest athletics in the party. Let's make sure to keep that really high. Perception, willpower. Let's get her toughness, actually. Persuasion, 113. Awareness. She's my awareness person. So it looks like this level up is mostly about stats. Demolition for her. Tech use and logic is his job. I guess agility, just so he takes his turns faster? Isn't agility, like, when, like... I think agility affects when you take your turn? Quickness, reflexes, and poise? Initiative? Does agility boost initiative? It does affect that. Okay, thank you. Because I like Heinrich's, basically I buff the heck out of the party with him early in a fight, and so I would love to do that before people split up. Corrals. I guess toughness. More hit points didn't ever hurt anybody. Oh god, her skills are so insane because that one passive she's got. Like, the better you are at trading, the stronger she gets. I think she's my only commerce person. Do that. I feel like I really missed out when I didn't have her join my party in my first playthrough. Okay. Save game. Alright. What do we got here?
Sings in my veins.
Welcome, your lordness. Please come right in. Our chief will greet you. You nitwits, quit your gawking. Get to work.
My
An
pleasure.
initial survey of the vessel indicates that my exploratory brethren have already performed a requiem right here. Further examination is inadvisable.
What about the sagacious marauders rooting around in the guts of this dead colossus of the void? Talk to them. Wisdom can be found in unexpected places, Shireen.
The plate reads Lathanos Pride. The name Lathanos surfaces in your mind, the history of a family from the Coronis Expanse, who invested all they had in a family ship. Their ship perished in the warp on its maiden voyage. The Lathano line never recovered from the crushing blow.
What lies beyond?
Yoink.
Behind the varied colors of your soul, I see very different shades. Less gold and silver, and more and more.
Cass, joy of my eyes, I'm not ashamed to show off my body to others, but do not bear my soul for me.
Okay.
They will see. Oh, yes, indeed. They all will see.
Oh, dog found something. Cargo. Who's that? Looks real noble-like. Let's see. A dump site of cut pieces of metal and other materials, probably from clearing out a path deeper into the ship. Cargo. A working area where fragments of the ship are dismantled in search of scraps of metal, valuable metal or parts. Something is propped against the door from the inside. You can hear the piercing sounds of a saw and other tools coming from behind it. Oh. That got interrupted. A tired-looking woman of indeterminate age, clad in work clothes, breaks off from her task to greet you. She freezes momentarily, clearly unsure to address how to address you, then says simply, "Your lordship, please excuse me, I don't really know your name. Welcome to our little colony. May the light of the Emperor be with you and with us. My name is Rita Maximova. I'm in charge here." What is this place? We just call ourselves Rita's crew, and this place is Rita's camp. That's it. We are recolligers, scavengers in common terms. She does not speak the word scavengers with any kind of disdain. On the contrary, there is dignity in her voice, the kind with which one would announce their affiliation with a respected guild or family. Tossing a glance at Pascal, she grimly adds, "And our work is all legal, even though your brethren have no liking for us." Pascal stares dispassionately at Rita with a hint of disgust. Evidently, he has not even considered the possibility that replying to this creature's words could be anything other than heresy. He's just... Alright. What do you do here? Right now we're gutting this old heap of junk slowly but surely. That's a recolliger's life for you. They drop us off at some decrepit station or on an ancient battlefield and we just sit there for years on end. We look for working tech or valuable materials or whatever else might be useful. If we find anything, we sell it to passing ships. Not the easiest job out there. These wrecks are chock full of all kinds of dangers. But, and I swear it on my plasma torch, it's an exciting one for sure. The little bird's got all kinds of bells and whistles. Most of the tech is dead, but we do find working pieces now and again. We spent 2 whole months clearing out this shaft that we found, finished just 3 days ago actually, and we found this thing. A bit weird looking, but still functional. Rita's expression brightens a little. Perhaps your lordship would like to buy this component from us. I'll bet that big ship you've got could get plenty of use out of it. Pascal's vox crackles to life. Imperiously he tells her, "Present the object, laywoman." But curiosity creeps into his voice nonetheless. I can't even see what it is. I will buy the component. Well, isn't that something? The Emperor himself must have smiled upon us. Rita makes a triumphant gesture. I mean, thank you, your lordship. You'll be pleased with the results. 3 Magnus-class rechargeable batteries. Gain experience. It doesn't even say I spent anything. Her mood visibly improves. You know, your lordship, it's kind of embarrassing to offer you this, but over in that corner there, we keep things we don't rightly understand or can't really use. You could send some of your people to check it out if you'd like. Clearly, you know more about this stuff than us. You might find something useful. You've got your own ship. No, not even close. A luxury like that? You could count the recolligers who got their own ship on one hand. An old worker's hand that got sucked into machinery 3 times and slashed by a plasma cutter twice. We fly with whomever, mostly just taking our chances. Sometimes we hitch a ride on the promise that we'll pay with what we find later. Other times we find some other means. Risky business, obviously. 5 or so years back, a crew got dropped off at an abandoned station, but something wasn't right with the life support system. The ship came back to pick them up 2 years later and found nothing but bodies. And about 15 years ago, back before I had my first little one, a ship took 3 crews to location and ran into pirates on the way back. The ships got out on expeditions for years at a time, so it was ages before anyone realized they were missing, and it was even longer before they remembered the scavengers. Plus, it took some time to find a crew that could check on them and pick them up. Long story short, all 3 crews bought it. Yep. Can you tell me anything about this wreck? Not much. We're no eggheads, you know. We're manual labor. It's an ancient thing, pretty dangerous, and we don't really know much beyond that. Before we came here, some tech priests had done their own bit of gutting. I mean, ritualing, bowing to the spirits, all that. That lot don't tend to leave a whole lot of valuables behind. It's true. but it's way too scary to go in before them. And hey, we dragged a dozen of their broken servitors out of their mines after. Their carcasses smell awful, but you can pluck a decent number of parts out of a servitor and sell them. Doesn't seem like there's anything nasty living inside the wreck now, but the wreck itself is barely holding together. You go a couple of modules from here and that's it. You won't take another step without fearing that a broken reactor might cook you alive, or a whole module might decompressurize. Well, it's nothing we haven't handled before, so we're having a poke at it, but we don't have a clue what this ship is or who it belonged to. You take pride in your trade, I see. Sure do. Blue says, see you this evening. See you, Bluebell. It takes skill and luck and a good head on your shoulders. We risk our lives every day crawling on top of these old buckets. If something goes wrong, we die. By the scores sometimes. One moment you're here, the next we're gone. Kind of like worker ants. But you know what, your lordship? Our job also has something, how shall I put it, poetic about it. Hope you don't judge me too harshly and don't take it as insolence, but some people, even big people like you, think too highly of themselves. Let's say your ship hops into the warp someday and doesn't hop out of it on time, and around 100 years later, another gal like myself who needs to feed her 3 ankle biters somehow will be rifling through the remains, looking for anything good. That's just the nature of things. Each of us comes and goes, but the way the world works stays the same. We all have our lot in life, and mine is just as good as any other. I've been building up dogmatic points. This is a really mean thing to say, but I've been trying to build up dogmatic as high as possible. So, I'm just gonna feel bad about this. Nonsense! There are those who are great and those who are nothing. That is the nature of things. If you say so, your lordship. I'm a simple woman living a simple life, having simple thoughts, and if I happen to blurt out some bunkum, that's just because I'm not that bright. She shrugs. I can take you from this place. It's not safe here, and sooner or later it will drift somewhere so remote nobody will ever find you again. But this is our whole livelihood, your lordship. You take us from here, what are we gonna do? Sit in some hold slaving away? Here we've got our own colony, our own operation? No, this is our path and we won't stray from it. I see. Your lordship, Rita falters as if flustered by her own nerve. Please don't take it as insolence, but it's not like I have much choice. It's not often that we get well-stocked ships around here, and we could certainly use more provisions and some warm clothes. If it's something that you would be willing to provide, we would gladly barter for it with whatever we can dig up inside this here ship. It's just a respectful offer of fair trade. She bows slightly before stepping aside. Okay.
There will be no peace
a damaged safe.
in
The contents of similar safes are destroyed when hacking is attempted. You should not try to open it. Hold on, what did that say? Just like that, but something from the environment could help. Need a key. A small selection of valuable finds, carefully sorted and packed. A simple machinery and tools look a little worn, but well maintained. In this work of crude craftsmanship, you can just make out one of the depictions of the Emperor commonly seen in the Coronis Expanse.
One step at a time.
The apparatus gurgles and emits a strong smell of alcohol, probably not of the industrial variety. Okay. So I don't see... Examine the pile of rubbish.
My house
There's
would be
nothing here
proud
but
of
cheap
me.
scrap metal. Examine the pile of rubbish.
I've read about this.
Among the wreckage was an instruction manual for the duty officer on how to access the safes. You can obtain the codes to the safes by logging into the ship's cogitators. Have to find a ship's cogitator then. Connect to cogitator.
I am the rogue thread.
The cogitators appears to be unresponsive. Does it need power? This is a pretty small area. Cogitator.
Operation
Inoperative.
successful.
Cogitator.
This
This cogitator's off, but appears intact. You could try to power it from a local source. Connect a cable.
The machine gun grants me
Find the code to the safe. Pascal.
Operation
You successfully logged in with the duty officer's credentials and obtained the code to the old safe. Okay. A fractal blade and 2 fire grenades. Okay. That's honestly not a lot for how much work we put into that.
Patience.
Is there anything else to do here? Rita? No. She mentioned trade. I'm not sure how to do that. Alright. Back to the ship. Maybe we can talk to our factotum on the ship and he'll do it. There's Promethium and Unknown. Alright, drink water. The bizarre structure observed from orbit appears to be the ruined estate of a wealthy noble. Further searching reveals the remains of an envirodome, a landing pad, the main manor, and servants' quarters. It is impossible to determine what actually happened here. The search team has found something truly disturbing in the main hall, an opulently clothed skeleton sitting at the dinner table. The table is set with gold plates covered with old blood and piles of bones. The bones on the plates are clearly human. No other remains have been found on the estate. Let holy fire purify it all. Fire consumes the sinister ruins. The Imperium's faithful children will not tolerate any impurity in their path. Faction reputation C, 500 with the Drusians. So somebody liked that. Unidentified void ship. A Vox notification from the Augur crew drowns out the usual noise on the bridge. An Imperial vessel, the Dark Piercer, and its escort ships are headed your way. Your archives make no mention of either the ship or its owner. As you consider your course of action, the ship's captain contacts you first. Introducing himself as the Pilgrim, the captain greets the rogue trader courteously and offers to purchase any information you might have on crystal phlogiston deposits. Ask why the Pilgrim needs phlogiston. The captain's coarse laughter echoes forth through the Vox. Phlogiston is a part and parcel of many different aspects of life in the Imperium. How exactly his customers are going to use it is none of his concern. All that the Pilgrim promises is that the phlogiston will be used for the good of humanity. Jay immediately remarks that someone without a name is not to be trusted. Deals with such people do not tend to end well. If she were you, she would first find out his secrets, then scrupulously remove him from the equation. Pascal becomes visibly animated at the mention of phlogiston. Though indifferent to the prospect of a deal with a shadowy individual, the Magos nonetheless recommends you to find out more about phlogiston deposits. Your own protectorate would benefit from the knowledge. Sister Argenta sincerely believes the words of the Pilgrim. A cowl or a golden aquila are no prerequisites for being his true servant. If the captain sincerely wants to help the Imperium, perhaps by his own methods, there is nothing questionable about extending a helping hand. Commerce 100%. Propose a deal. Valuable information in exchange for phlogiston. The captain of the Dark Piercer is in the best of spirits. In gratitude for your invaluable help, he sends you a small box containing ancient maps and documents. They appear to speak of a certain imperial world lost many centuries ago. Then, in a somewhat conspiratorial tone, the Pilgrim relates a story about a standoff between two Xenos fleets, which he was told by an acquaintance. The person in question, sadly enough, died at the hands of the Inquisition before they were able to pass on the coordinates of the crash site in one of the Xenos ships. However, the Pilgrim knows for a fact that the vessel met its demise on an ocean world. Bid farewell and travel onward. At Muck, fractal blades are made of living crystal, and they come from somewhere in the Cronus Expanse. Every time you use the blade to hit something, small slivers flake off the edge and get stuck in the target, so the blade grows and stays sharp forever. Each and every one of those small flakes is another fractal blade, though they only grow when planted on the unknown planet that the crystals originally come from. Oh, I thought you were going to say the little pieces in the target grow into full blades if they don't get them out. I was like, oh my god. Put up. Okay. Alright. Next world. What's this one? Save the Eldari survivors. Oh gosh, freaking Eldari. Alright. Warp travel. During the warp voyage, the Navigator's Sanctum reported there are warp reefs right on the ship's course. The fragments of the Sea of Souls given material form. The navigator may either steer the ship past the dangerous region or risk approaching the ragged formation to gain valuable insight. 15% success chance. Approach the reef. Failed. Following the Lord Captain's orders, the navigator's instructions, the void ship approached the warp reefs. And the lower decks rang with the unbearable screeching of tearing plasteel. Razor-sharp reef edge had cut into the hull. The ship managed to escape the dangerous region, but not before taking serious damage. Holy wall of text. One sec. Chart new routes. Okay, hang on just a sec. The entire chat box just filled up. Anonymity! What are you doing? Hold on a sec. What is all this? Someone just copy-pasted like a thesis paper. Alright, Maddyman said Fractal Blades. Okay, I read that one. Anonymity says, Mug, I have some thoughts on the new Elite Spec video. Crescendo might be a Condi transfer from allies to enemies or a boon rip from enemies to allies. It could be. They were very vague on it. It might be an HP transfer where it damages enemies and siphons. It could be. Galeshot might also be an F1 that allows you to access the Gale Bow. I agree with that. I said that too. You might need to stack up feathers that allow you to use the skills of the feathers that allow you to enter Galeshot force, kind of like Reaper Shroud. It would be good since most Ranger meta right now is to go melee weapons. Yeah, but that's not going to change because the Ranger has to stack with the party to get boons and heals. So even if they get the Gale Bow, they have to stack with the party. Luminary has Radiant Shroud that allows you to use 4 weapons. The sword would be the leaps in the second skill, shield first skill and a block, and maybe if you block and attack the second skill, shield bash and do more CC. Maybe. Hammer has the charge as the first skill and the spin. Yeah, there's the hammer. He leaped in the air and held it for a minute and then slammed it down and then had a spin. Have the heal as the first skill and the second skill look like a Condi Cleanser shout skill that gives boons. All we know is the staff does support and protection. Beyond the protection boon, I don't know what else it does. Someone said they thought they saw Aegis. The passive effect might be the Guardian Virtue F1 through F3 effects, such as Hammer would give F1 effects and give Burning and Might. F2 is Healing and Condi Cleanse for the staff, and Sword Shield. Well, no, I think it's just you hit F whatever and it goes into the Shroud, and then your 1 through 5 are the different weapons. That was the understanding I got from the video. I'm sorry, haha, I'm so excited about it. No, I love the excitement. I love the excitement. Just, you know, understand, like, for me, I just saw, just the entire wall of text, and for a second before I started reading what you said, I was like, oh god, it's a bot. It's like, usually if I get hit like that, it's a bot. Alright, reduce that route difficulty. Alright, visit this system. Alright. Quick save, because sometimes this sucks. Space battle. A violent battle is unfolding before the rogue trader's eyes. Patrol ships from the Corda fleet are tearing apart 2 small Eldari vessels. Once they are finished with them, the void ships give chase after the third, already damaged vessel, clearly with the intention of destroying it as well. Seeing the third ship's impending death, Yearly calls out to the Lord Captain, her voice trembling slightly. Only the rogue trader's intervention can save her kin from the massacre. Send a message to Incendia Corda's fleet, ordering them to stop the battle. The Voxmaster relays the Lord Captain's demand to stop the battle and soon returns with a reply. According to the Corda's ships, this group of Xenos are malicious criminals. They are guilty of raiding the system's planets and robbing merchant vessels. Incendia Corda's void ships are intent on performing their duty before the Emperor and exterminating the Xenos. Yearly sullenly watches the unfolding chase through the stained glass windows of the captain's bridge. She grimly concedes that no crime should go unpunished, except her kin were flying transport ships. It would have been impossible for them to rob a ship, let alone launch a planetary raid. Vessels such as theirs simply lack the firepower to do so. The Monkey are lying. Lore Xenos. Analyze the intact void ship. Despite the presence of some weaponry, the Xenos ship is more likely it meant for transporting cargo or the Xenos themselves rather than direct combat. Commerce 100%. Ask Corda's patrol for proof of the Xenos transgressions. The patrol captain reluctantly admits that there is no conclusive proof. The system is sometimes the target of pirate raids. However, this changes nothing, for his servants have no mercy for the enemies of humanity. Coercion 75%. Demand Corda's warship ceasefire immediately and retreat. Unwilling to engage in open battle against the flagship of a foreign dynasty, the patrol reluctantly leaves its prey and retreats to the edge of the system. Meanwhile, the wounded Xenoship is rapidly distancing itself from the recent battlefield, attempting to hide in the shadow of the nearest world. Every attempt to contact it is met with frustration, and the Voxmaster reports that the vessel is in deplorable condition. Who knows how much more the Xenotechnology can endure before the irreparable happens. The Eldari are too scared and resentful of the Monkey for the recent deaths of their kin to answer incoming hails. Despite this, Yurliet is certain she can convince them to cooperate with the Elantok if she's allowed to speak with them. Let Yurliet speak with them. Success! That was only a 40% chance. 2 watches pass, and the Xenos finally decide to answer Yurliet's pleas concerning the Elantok's assistance. Guardedly asking how exactly the Monkey can help their vessel, the Eldari note that the humans' primitive technologies are incapable of healing the Eldari's vessel's wounds. The sudden benevolence of one human is equally incapable of bringing back those who perished in the recent engagement. Alright, so, through this playthrough, I said I was doing dogmatic, except when it came to quests for my companions, because I want to see them play out. This is a companion quest. Yurliet is in the crew, and she wants to save these people, so I feel like I need to try to find a middle ground here and not just go, meh, heresy, meh, and shoot them in the face. Man. Grant the Eldari the rogue traders protection by accepting them aboard the ship. The Eldari accept their fate with forced humility. They do not resist, but neither do they appear uplifted by their rescue. They see their stay on a Monkey ship as imprisonment, filled with uncertainty about what awaits them next. After a few watches, the Xenos' suspicions are validated. The presence of outsiders who filled the lower decks was perceived by ordinary people as an invasion of godless mutants. Shouting prayers to the Emperor, they rush to depressurize the compartment containing the Xenos alongside those who were touched by the filth of the unclean. Oh no! So, the horrible news shakes Yurliet. She blames herself for the deaths of her kin and regrets the hatred of the Monkey toward her kind, a foolish product of fear. So we put these guys on the lower decks in a room and didn't tell anyone around them they were under our protection. That's really stupid. Alright. Perhaps humans and Xenos simply cannot coexist. Okay. That happened. This planet is devoid of even the most primitive forms of life. However, the crew has made quite a strange discovery. A mirror lying right in the center of a huge crater. A completely ordinary mirror in a frame, by all appearances, in pristine condition. There's no life on the planet. There's a giant crater, and there's a mirror in a massive crater. Yeah. Destroy that immediately. The crew blasts the crater, raising a cloud of dust that blocks the auger array. Confirming the mirror's destruction is impossible for the time being, but it could not have survived such a powerful explosion. Definitely not. That sounds it's like some cursed stuff. Captain Sargona's cache. The wearer's incoming damage is reduced by 0%. What? 0%. Oh, yeah, great. Awesome. I'm so happy about that. Veil degradation? It scales with veil degradation? Okay. Tap quick save and let's check out these ships. Mirror, mirror in the crater alone, what kind of danger do you pose to us all? Yeah. Yeah, not sussing strange objects surrounded by death.
Oh, the celestial
Alert! Drukhari have
stage
blocked some of your
awaits
flagship's
live
posts
upon
using
us.
unknown Xenos power. Your crew will regain control of these posts in several rounds. No, Bodie McBoatface. Oh, that's no good.
Engage the lads.
Seems like there's no point to having 2 lance weapons. Seems like after you use one, they're both on cooldown. Empyrean Storm makes 7 random attacks. That was a lot of misses.
Set course. Commence the symphony of macro cannons.
Oh shoot, where's the... Oh, I can't launch the little ships? Oh, I gotta change my ship setup. I apparently need the torpedo launching tubes to launch the little fighters. I did not realize that. Oh my god, that guy just got wrecked. What? That was like 1 hit and 42 misses. Oh my god. Sharp turn.
The destination is known.
Fade into nothing.
Unleash our fury.
Hey Mike, do you have a guide on account luck and how much I should raise it? I don't think I have a guide on that. Hang on a second. Yeah, I don't think so. The main thing is don't worry about it. So like, when you consume luck, your luck can go up to 300% from eating luck, which usually takes people years to get to. But it's almost unnoticeable. It's like, imagine going from 0.001% chance to get big loot to 0.003. It's like, yeah, it's 300% of what it was, but, you know, it's a minor thing. The exception to that is if you've got a massive collection of boxes affected by luck and you're about to open all of them at once, then you should do everything in your power to temporarily boost your luck. Enter. No, my escort ship got destroyed.
Engage the lads. Lads.
So many misses. Ah, 1 tile out of range. Wait, does this help? Nope. That extends the range out there.
Engage the lads.
Is that it?
Another victory of 2 great dynasties, Lord.
Alright, we gotta re-equip the little fighters. Those things were amazing and we lost them apparently. Alright, void ship management. I believe that was it. Yeah, can launch interceptors through torpedo tubes. And I didn't notice that very important part. Through torpedo tubes. Blasteel. So much for lunch. I ate my lunch. A vigilant member of the Augur crews detected a small Xenos vessel drifting through the void. The ship is unpowered and shows no signs of being crewed. Send out a boarding shuttle. The squad boarded the vessel without issue. Corrosion has laid waste to the ship's systems, which led to the death of the entire crew. The interior is full of Eldari corpses. No weapons found on board, and the dead Xenos, judging by their clothing, were not part of any warrior caste, merely the crew of the now defunct ship. The Xenos Yearliet claims to have recognized the symbols on the dead Eldari's clothes. They were civilian refugees from the craft world Crudarok. Okay, that's done. A mining world looks like what? That was too fast. What? Hold on. J. A mining world. It looks to me like a filthy, inhospitable hole where loyal subjects freely toil in fathomless mine shafts century after century, usually until death. Kibella. So they welcome death with open arms here, as they should. It still surprises me that most lay people need to experience torment before they could see the true freedom lies not in life but at its end. Kibella, calm down. So edgy. Let's check that out. Enemies of humanity have been spotted aboard the ship. Warp beasts have enthralled the crew in charge of one of the macro cannons and massacred those who resisted the heresy. The Lord Captain is their only hope. Okay. The rogue trader and his retinue will personally go and face these contemptible beings. Demons have boarded the ship, chat. Enemies of humanity. It sometimes happens when you go through the warp.
They will see. Oh, yes.
Oh, that echo.
They all will see.
Get out of the fire, you silly. Bloodletters! We're fighting Khorne today, chat. Blood for the blood god. That guy.
Oh, what an amusing attempt at defiance.
Red flesh, shadowbone, blurred skulls.
Okay.
I am a navigator, not a servitor. Isn't this a job for the serfs?
Hey, we regen. Insects begin crawling under your skin. Ah! Yeah, warp is really high right now. Throw a curse on him so that starts spreading around.
Me, another foe.
Blast him.
Am I getting paid?
Give Cass another turn. Every kill she gets increases her willpower, so just looking for the weakest enemies I can find.
I try to die with grace,
Pop, pop.
at least.
His turn.
Let's see.
Jay's turn.
Commands are more pleasant to give than to follow.
Medicae signal.
I can Jai Hedari. Remember the name.
Muck's turn.
Shattered foes. in
Taunt
my
all of
way.
those.
What if?
That was dodged.
A wicked thought.
I don't know why the dog didn't attack there. It should have.
Let's see.
Okay, and dodge. Unfortunate. Alright. Whoa! 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 Y'all need to calm down. Everyone's using point blank grenades. Stop it.
I will leave footprints of scarlet. The shadows will see it done. Cool.
Alright, she ripped that guy a new one. Well, the enemy is going to kill this bloodletter with their own guns before they hit me. My guy just standing in the fire, like this is fine.
Go on, beast.
Shoot, that doesn't reach them? Dang. I wanted to move the bird there to AoE buff, but it's not reaching anyone. The line of sight's being kind of weird. Okay.
I won't object to it.
That is a shame.
Let's see to it. But of course, Lord Captain. I won't object.
Oh god, what? Okay, we had a warp overload there, so Heinrich's casted a spell and it made an explosion emanate from him, which hit my own team. Alright, Cassia's turn again.
Emperor, give me strength. How dare you?
Next turn, use overcharge on the dog.
Artistry. Schemes within their schemes.
Okay, that's done.
Let's see. A
Taunts.
genius at work.
Isn't this a job for the serfs?
Through the smoke and gunfire.
Taunt those two. I didn't expect the dog to kill that in one hit. I'll take it though.
Even I won't do that. War is my muse. Let fate claims another one.
Chaos guides me.
Dude, I love how we're just out here ignoring all these point-blank grenades. Tank build is going good. Kind of surprised the dog is handling it so well too, though. That's a bonus.
The Emperor is on our side. Naturally.
Alright. Oh my god, I triggered a chain lightning.
Focus.
Not good.
For the throne's glory.
I could do an attack with him as well, but warp is getting way too high in here, so I'm not going to. Alright, Pascal's first turn because it got knocked down earlier.
Activate calculated fury algorithm.
Live bait on Muck.
Tech familiar. Activated.
Pick that guy off.
Mine insignificant.
Pop him. Dog takes another one down. Good boy.
Be careful not to cross my gaze. I'm not.
Alright, she takes him out.
If I may.
Give Muck another turn.
Wicked Lord.
Me?
Give some extra health to Echo.
Captain.
Let's see, move Jay over here. And move the servo skull.
You've got a problem?
Give Cass another
I've got a
turn.
prize.
Cass zap the guy in the back.
Another foe
Zap him.
painted black.
Heinrich's turn.
But of course,
More resolve.
Captain.
Jay's turn. Snipe. I cast gun. Is there anyone else? Says there's 2 more. Way over there. Okay.
Oh, the storm approaches. Let's see. What if? Schemes within schemes.
Dog is doing great. I think that's it. Alright. So there were demons and people corrupted by demons on the ship. Or as I like to call them, experience points. What game is that? This is Warhammer 40k Rogue Trader. It is a CRPG, classic RPG. Same genre of game as Baldur's Gate 3, which most people this year have heard about. But this one is in the Warhammer universe. Why can I not get to that? There we go. Had trouble clicking on that one. I think the demon corpses, like, dissolve when they die or something. So it's just the people remaining.
What lies beyond?
Alright. Nice. Quick question. What would you say is a good starter healer in Guild Wars 2? It depends. Do you have experience healing in other MMOs, or is it your first time? That said, if you're interested in that topic, that right there is a video called So You Want to Play Support. And I think you would really like that video. Visit this new area. But there are some supports, such as Healbinger. That wasn't me correcting myself. That's both of those. Healbinger also. Mechanist are really easy to play. And then there's other supports that are more challenging and have, you know, more tools at their disposal. It takes longer to learn them. So it just depends what you're into. Rangers getting more bows. That's my understanding. The Santiel's Pride hives are oozing noxious haze veined with sulfurous streaks. The promethium fumes from the gigantic distilling cauldrons located beyond the temperature shields. Vast, endless deadlands littered with spots in promethium stations and refineries separate the colossi of rockreet and adamantine with its crown of gargantuan spires. The heat of this system's star has turned this world into a boiling but lucrative gland within the body of the House Corda Protectorate. It's hard to tell what's more impressive, the grotesque grandeur of this place or its extreme toxicity. Okay. Sports back there? Better than it was. A lot better than it was. Amazing. Wait. I think I saw a world that I didn't click on as soon as I was loading out. Hold on. Yeah, there's one that's not explored. Go back, go back, go back. We missed one. Wait, no, I did. Hang on. Already explored. Already explored. Already explored. Okay. Okay, we're good. We're good. Chart new routes. Okay, we're at 10 navigators in sight. So we could reduce the difficulty of one of those. Lord Captain, according to telemetry, we're in the system of Kiava Gamma, the main industrial world of the Van Valancius dynasty. However, our astropaths report that attempts to contact Governor Gaprak have been unsuccessful. But wait, the Voxmaster is silent for a few seconds. Lord Captain, a new report. Kiava Gamma is sending a request to exchange data. Should we accept it? I remember this part from the last playthrough. Reply with our own request. As you command, Lord Captain. The Voxmaster switches to a nearby comm channel to relay your instructions to the crew. For several minutes, nothing happens. Lord Captain reporting. The Manufactorum is ignoring all our requests and continues to send us its own. The longer we do not accept their messages, the stronger and more persistent the incoming signals become. I've never seen anything like this. Suddenly, a deafening screech erupts from the bridge's Vox system. You hear violent tirades of garbled Boneric code like the low chuckles of machinery. Lord Captain, interference detected in the compartment's Vox system. Looks like the bridge is cut off from the rest of the void ship. Start of picked recording. The void ship's bridge. Sounds of working cogitators and officers' footsteps. The everyday scene is interrupted by an ear-splitting beeping sound followed by lumens going out. In the dim glow of candles and emergency lights, one of the officers in frame cries out, another falls to her knees, clutching her head. Over the beeping of Voxes, shouts can only be heard. What's going on? The doors are locked. We've lost contact with all compartments. One of the bridge officers turns to the throne. Lord Captain, the Vox stations are malfunctioning and overloading the system. None of our outgoing transmissions are getting through. The incoming ones that do make it are distorted beyond interpretation. The Lord Captain gives the order to... decipher the incoming Vox transmissions at all costs. Proceed. A team of decryption experts gets to work. Data tethers are inserted into sockets as they connect to the cogitators. One of the Vox clerics leans over the console, another is writing something on a piece of parchment. But then she bursts into maniacal laughter and stabs herself in the eye with a steel quill. Another scream. A tech priest, who is mid-prayer, tears himself to pieces with his own mechadendrites. More and more lunatics are mutilating themselves and lunging at each other. Portion of picked recording damaged after contact with unknown object. An enforcer shoves a rabid servitor away from the Lord Captain as he... Coercion 100%. Executes a series... one of the lunatics and roars a series of orders to the rest. The madman's body falls as the rogue trader's feet as his commanding voice, magnified by Vox amplifier, carries over all the noise. He orders the crew to master themselves immediately, promising to personally execute anyone who fails to do so. Some of the lunatics quiet down, others try to snap out of it. One pins her hand to a panel with a dagger to stop herself from moving. Another fervently whispers prayers. Some return to the cogitators, others lean over the wounded. Shots ring out. Those still on a rampage are executed by the rogue trader himself, as promised. Oh my god. Scrap code. The voice belongs to the on-deck engine seer who has turned to the Lord Captain from his station. We've been attacked with scrap code, a tech heresy designed to corrupt machines. The transmission received from the planet was infected with this taint and is now running through the ship's veins. Omnissiah preserve us. The Voidborn officer appears before the Lord Captain once more. Whatever it is that's attacking us, we have a backup procedure that can circumvent the Vox barrier. In the atrium leading to the bridge, there is a terminal for an isolated system that might still be allowed pop. The pipes over the officer's head burst, and a blast of hot air flings the Voidborn away from the Void Captain, his body slamming straight through a cogitator panel. The picked frame spins uncontrollably. The servo skull was jolted by the gust. The picked recorder fogs over, the Vox picking up the crackling of electricity and a death cry. Gas on the bridge! A junior attendant shouts and instantly doubles over, inhaling poisoned air. The rogue trader runs for his life. Persuasion. Gives the order to evacuate immediately. The rogue trader personally oversees the evacuation. Bring the plasma cutters. Get the wounded to the exit. The officer repeats his orders. When the servo skull following the rogue trader reaches the doors, they fall to the plasma cutters and crumble outward. The rogue trader is the last to leave the bridge. Leaning on a support beam, the rogue trader takes several deep breaths, trying to flush his lungs with air. Then he straightens, smooths his uniform, and heads toward a goal known only to him. The servo skull follows. The atrium is in a state of panic. Silhouettes skitter about in the dark hall, illuminated only by the flickering of emergency lumens. Curt orders and someone's feverish words of prayer can be heard. Having lost all communication, the beheaded ship is writhing in agony. It takes a while for the Lord Captain to find the cogitator mentioned by the fallen officer. The panel of the isolated terminal is riddled with cracks and bloodstains, and on the floor by the terminal, a tech priest is lying in a heap with his head smashed and technical liquids mixing with blood oozing out of his ports. The Lord Captain decides to take his chances restoring the terminal. Tech use, success. The rogue trader rips the power key off of the tech priest mechadendrite and opens the cover on the terminal. Sparks fly into his face, but he is confident in his manipulation of the tangled wires and clinging levers. After replacing the cover and ensuring that the system is restored, the Lord Captain brings up the required data on the screens. The maintenance bay is sending out hundreds of desperate distress calls that have gone unanswered up to now. When the machines went out of control and started turning people insane, others, driven by some hateful and paranoid logic, started butchering the servants of the Adeptus Mechanicus. The tech priests have sustained heavy losses, but the remains of the cult are still holding the line. Out of everything that is happening on the ship, the situation in the maintenance bay is the direst. The Lord Captain knows where help is needed most. He decides to head to maintenance bay himself. The rogue trader arrives not a moment too soon. The crew, frightened out of their wits, have already cornered the priests of the Omnissiah and are about to execute them. The Lord Captain stands between the angry mob and the tech priests, his sheer presence already giving the crowd pause. Harshly cutting off any objection from the crew, the rogue trader orders the officers he gathered on the way here to escort the mutineers out and set up a guard post outside the bay, where the tech priests begin to offer desperate prayers to the crippled machine spirits. Return to the bridge. The walk to the bridge is uneventful. The crisis is past. Although wounded and crippled, the ship nevertheless is returning to a normal operation. Life on the bridge is bustling as ever. Even though the people are surrounded by destruction, the senior officers have the situation under control. The people have been organized, the emergency crew have already finished repairing the pipes, the technomats are setting up cogitators and consoles, and the healers are bagging up what few corpses there are and examining the wounded. By the comm station, the rogue trader runs into the Voxmaster. Praise the Emperor, you're in one piece, Lord Captain. The situation on board is satisfactory. I was just in the middle of setting up comm channels. Soon as all Voxcasters will be fully operational. Another man appears in the picked frame. A junior officer, completely out of breath, carries a heap of scrolls. The Voxmaster nods at him. Ah, here are the reports, Lord Captain. If you find yourself able to return to your station, I can immediately give you a rundown of the entire state of affairs on the ship. End of recording. Lord Captain, the Voxmaster's voice is quivering with exhaustion. The situation has been brought under control, more or less. It will take some time to eliminate the consequences of the attack completely, but the vessel is now capable of motion. We may even be able to conduct a warp jump if you feel we should leave the system. Allow me to bring you up to date. Fortunately, the bridge suffered only minor losses. The reports mention only a few casualties that have already been replaced. Yeah, I'm the one who shot most of them. Kiava Gamma was silent after transmitting the harmful signal. I will refrain from sending inquiries to the industrial world to avoid a second attack. I'm afraid we've exhausted our options of remote analysis. More information can only be obtained by closing the distance or even sending an away party on the planet's surface. The Vox clicks as Heinrich joins the channel. The time has come to remind you about our agreement, Mukluk. I must be present in your entourage during your expedition to Kiava Gamma. I'm counting on your cooperation. The crew is awaiting further instructions, Lord Captain. Woo! Okay, that was spicy. So I remembered that we got hacked there, and that's why I didn't accept the incoming message and was like, no, send them a message. And I was just curious if that would somehow circumvent it, but it doesn't. You still get the scrap code attack. Okay. I want to look at a few things here. Let's see. Stronghold. Commerce Imperium. 30%, 18. When the wear blocks an attack, all adjacent creatures past half distance get perplexed. Plus hours ranged. I need to get heavy armor proficiency on this guy soon. Let's see, 30%, 50. And her current armor has 50% dodge chance. His has tech use on it. Very low armor and dodge on his current armor, though. Heinrichs. That is an upgrade. J. What's her agility? 40. Okay. Just in case we need it. I want to get a grenade on everybody. He's already got one there. Okay. Alright. Go here. And scan. And go here. And so Kiava Gamma is going to be a big event. So we might have to start off there on the next one. So let's see what this is real quick. This dwarf planet is marked on the Von Valancius Protectorate charts as Atli and serves as a backup source of water for the habitable worlds of neighboring systems. Due to the abundance of bacteria proliferating in the Atli atmosphere, the high extraction of ice was stopped half a century ago. But much to your officer's surprise, the augurs detected an unidentified mining rig deep underground. Presumably, the excavation is aimed at extracting clay minerals near the planet's core enriched with iron and other metals. Fellowship, contact the Extractium's Vox station. The Extractium turns out to be Incendia Corda's latest investment, whose domain is located just within a few jumps from the Chronox system. While this world is of little value to the Von Valancius dynasty, your officers see this gesture as an attempt to test the boundaries of the newly minted Rogue Trader's leniency. Magos Pascal notes the unusual composition of Atli's core. Subsequent development will allow the extraction of rare refractory metals. Heeding his advice, the Rogue Trader decides to keep the Extractium for himself. Your people easily assume control as the frightened workers and the token's security crew do not attempt to resist. The Extractium's machines are restarted shortly after. The amassed containers filled with precious ore are delivered to the flagship's cargo hold. And now there's a plasteel mine there. Nice. All right, chat. We are going to save it here and pick it up from this moment with the fight for Kiava Gamma tomorrow. All right. Chat, I'm out of time for the morning stream, but thank you guys so much for joining me today. I hope you all had fun. I know I did. A few plugs on my way out. If you're new to my channel, my name is Muck. I stream every evening and every weekday morning. I'll be back in about 5 hours for the evening stream, continuing our playthrough of Tactical Breach Wizards for those of you interested in that. I'll be back tomorrow morning if you prefer this time slot. Please hit that follow button on Twitch. Subscribe if you're on YouTube. These are links to my 2 YouTube channels if you're not already subscribed to those to see all the videos I make. And a special thank you to our dear patrons. They keep my channel alive. I could not do this without them. And there's a link to that in the chat if you're interested. All that said, I'm going to find someone on the Twitch side of things to raid just to support somebody. You know what? It looks like Laura's live. I will do a raid for Lorenity, and then I will be back later tonight. And off we go. Y'all have a good rest of your day, and I will see you again soon. Yeah.
It's axe as well. So yeah, I'm sure that they will play differently than Holo, right? But sort of like you've got an assortment of different weapons you pull out, which is a little bit like Holosmith, I guess. Yo, we just got a raid.